is one part of that journey. Walk Worthy is what it is called, and we hope to see you there on March 1st in Canton, Ohio. We aren't sure yet who the speakers will be, but we will have them, and music, and food, and we'll let you know the details once everyone makes up their minds. After all, we are men.
Open the Bible with Colin Smith.
Saul of Tarsus knew what Christians believed, and he knew how Christians lived. But he didn't know the Savior they worshipped. Well, that all changed when Saul was surrounded by a blinding light and heard the Son of God calling him by name. Saul, Saul. When the glory of Jesus is revealed at his second coming, you're going to see Jesus and you will hear his voice as surely as Saul of Tarsus did. See, Christianity is not a set of beliefs for you to debate, and it's not a way of life for you to consider. What we're dealing with here is a person, the Son of God, the Lord Jesus Christ, and he lays claim to your life.
Is there someone in your life who needs to know the God of the Bible and might be open to take a journey through the Bible with you? Invite them to openthebible.org.
When we're told that he is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, it's not simply that God was there at the beginning and he will be still there at the end. No, his eternity encompasses it all. He is the beginning and the end, even now.
Here's Jonathan Griffiths with today's Moment of Truth.
That's why God can make statements like the one found in Isaiah 46 and verse 9. I am God and there is no other. I am God and there is none like me. I make known the end from the beginning, from the earliest times what is still to come. I say, my purpose will stand, and I will do all that I please. Unlike you and me, God doesn't look back wistfully on the past. He's not consumed by the present. He's not troubled in waiting for the future. He sees all of time as a vivid whole before his eternal gaze. He sees the creation. He sees the fall. He sees the flood. He sees the call of Abram. He sees the monarchy of Israel. He sees the exile. He sees the incarnation. He sees the early church. He sees the medieval period. He sees the Reformation. He sees the great world wars. He sees our assembly here today. None of history is lost or filed away in a dusty cabinet for God. As the psalmist says here in Psalm 90 and verse 4, for 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that has just gone by, or like a watch in the night. Now, I don't pretend to be able to understand or fully conceptualize all those things, and there are limits to our understanding of God's eternity because he hasn't told us everything. But from what the scriptures do tell us, these things must be true of the eternal God who made time, who is himself eternal in his being, who never changes, who knows the end from the beginning.
This has been today's Moment of Truth. To learn more, visit encounterthetruth.org.
Serving Erie, Huron, and Lake counties and beyond. This is Moody Radio Cleveland, WCRF Cleveland, WVMS Sandusky, WVML Millersburg, WVME Meadville, WVMN Newcastle, WVMU Ashtabula, or stream us anywhere with the Moody Radio app, other streaming services, and at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
The incoming Trump administration is reportedly planning to reverse a policy that prevents ICE from arresting undocumented migrants at or near churches, schools, and other sensitive locations and events. It's 6 o'clock. I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. That is according to anonymous sources who spoke with NBC News about the matter. Talk of the Day One policy shift has already drawn criticism from groups like the ACLU that argue migrants with potentially contagious diseases should not be afraid to go to the hospital. First Energy is continuing work to restore power to folks who lost it in Cuyahoga County yesterday. The cause of the outage is not yet known, but it is being looked into. At last report, just under 1,000 customers remain without electricity. And Akron is extending hours at the Summit Lake Community Center on Crozier Street for folks needing a place to find warmth from the cold. The community center will be open from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. All other local community centers will remain with their normal hours today. Sports and weather coming right up.
Hi, everybody. This is Chris Katulka, host of the Friends of Israel Today radio program. This weekend, we're going to be looking at our most recent issue of Israel My Glory magazine, which is all about John the Baptist. In fact, we're going to have Cameron Joyner with us as he speaks about his article, which is called Speaking Truth to Power, how John the Baptist confronted the rulers of his day. You can listen on this station or connect with us at foiradio.org.
Listen to this new program on WCRF every Saturday evening at 5.
In sports, Shane Bieber formally signed a one-year deal to return to Cleveland yesterday. The Guardians ace missed most of 2024 after having Tommy John surgery in April, and his recovery is expected to last into the 2025 campaign. In other news, radio broadcaster Tom Hamilton was named the 2025 Ford C. Frick Award winner yesterday. Here's your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. First, the warnings. For Ashtabula County in Ohio and Erie County in Pennsylvania, a lake effect snow warning in effect until 7 a.m. Friday. For Lake and Geauga counties in Ohio and Crawford County in Pennsylvania, a winter weather advisory is in effect until 7 a.m. Friday. For most of us, today we'll see partly cloudy skies with a slight chance of snow showers, mainly this morning. It'll be cooler with high temperatures today, just around 20 degrees. And at last check, we had some light snow now in Cleveland, 19 degrees. Akron and Canton seeing flurries as well, 18 degrees there. And if you think that's cold, you should take a trip over to Mansfield, where it's mostly cloudy and 15 degrees. Brr.
It's time for your moron moment.
Need a headshot, but it's not really worth hiring a photographer? Well, skip the cropped group pic or obvious selfie. For professional-looking photos, go with a slight smile instead of your biggest grin. And blur the background so the person viewing your profile can focus on your face. If your phone has portrait mode, use it. And that's your Moron Moment. And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 6:03. With Moody Radio News, I'm Ron Eastwood.
Broadcasting live from the Bob Devine Studio. It's Mornings with Brian. Want to join the conversation? Call or text now at 440-546-2255. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Good morning and Merry Christmas. It is 6:08. This is Mornings with Brian, and our whole team is together again, which I'm very excited about. And I'm also excited because one of the fun things about working in this office when Lauren is here is that, and I heard about this actually from her former colleagues, she talks a lot whether or not anyone's there.
I talk to myself.
And she loudly will proclaim things.
Yeah. You were warned.
Yeah, no, and I think it's endearing. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I was walking towards your office to ask you a question, and I heard, no, and I couldn't help but yell out yes, and then it turns out what you were doing is looking at a picture of me where I look exceptionally creepy at the Rebecca St. James concert.
I was saying no way, this is so funny.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Describe it.
It was a picture of Rebecca St. James on stage, and you were waiting to come up. I think it was right at the end. You were waiting to come up, but you were like lurking in the background, like waiting.
I was like in the shadows.
Yes.
And it seemed like I shouldn't have been there.
Yes, exactly.
Like just the angle of the photo, you can't quite tell where I am. It's like she's singing from a stool, looking all particular, and I'm back there like
lurking.
Hey.
Yeah.
What are you doing? It's me, Brian.
So funny.
Oh, wow.
I still feel bad I had to like interrupt her husband or whatever because I messed up the guitar giveaway.
That's okay.
Our friend Scott Lessing got a good laugh out of how your reaction to it.
Mine?
Yeah, did I talk about this?
No. At least not to me. Maybe you did on Monday.
So I was supposed to go up before Pastor Scott Lessing gave a little message at Grace Church, and I was supposed to.
And you did.
I did do that.
But then you forgot to talk about the guitar giveaway.
Yeah, I was supposed to like have the QR code go up and talk about it. But I was so excited about introducing my friend Pastor Scott, I totally forgot to do the guitar thing, and we needed that up there.
Right.
And I sat down and I look at Lauren and I go, oh no, I forgot. And she's like, well, I guess you're going to have to fix that then. I was like, what?
I think I probably said, I guess you're going to have to go up again.
Yeah, no, you were rightfully frustrated because you had just told me that I need to do that, and I forgot. It's very typical. And so you're like, well, you have to figure it out. And there was really no opportunity again.
No,
so I had
you're
to
going
make
to have
one.
to interrupt, yeah.
I had to go up to who is referred to by her husband or by his wife as the holy hunk. And he's very tall. And I had to tap him on the shoulder.
I didn't stand very close to him, so I didn't get to see.
Pastor Scott was praying, and I had to go up and tap, tap, tap. Excuse me, holy hunk.
Excuse me.
Cubby.
You did not call him that.
No, I don't. I'm all talk there. Yeah. I would have been like, excuse me, sir. He had to take his ear thing out.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry,
His in-ear
but
monitor, yeah.
I forgot to do something. And because they had to change their whole thing for me to do it.
Not really.
Yeah,
they just had to wait.
He had to go tell people because I think they were going to start playing right away.
Yeah, he has to tell people. He had to go talk into the little mic that goes into the in-ear monitors. Yeah.
I felt so bad. But
it's okay.
Scott Lessing got a good kick out of you being like, well, I guess you're going to have to fix that then. You have to figure that out yourself.
Yeah, I'm not going up there, so.
It's great. That's what I deserved. It's fine. Now, Daria is using our station vehicle. Now, we didn't mind using it many months in the past.
Plain for a while.
Yeah, it was just some white SUV. No big deal. Well, it was finally got its fancy wrapping on it. And you all are starting to feel my pain for a number of years where my face was on the back window. But now all of your faces are on there, which I'm very excited about.
We look trapped on the inside.
It was an interesting choice for a photo.
And it's a very bright billboard now.
It's obnoxious. Like driving down the road, you cannot help but look at this thing.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
It's a marketing vehicle.
Now, it's Daria's turn. Daria's using it. And she's like Lauren, where she would just prefer to not be noticed by really anyone. And
don't perceive me.
She kind of goes, okay, fine, Jimmy can notice me. And you're the same with Eddie. It's like, okay, fine, I'll allow Eddie to recognize
Not even
that I'm
allow.
there.
I would like him to. I'd prefer him to ask him to notice me.
But just him.
Yes.
But now you had an unfortunate incident, though, with the vehicle then, didn't you?
Yeah, so this is a very large car, and I live in a very old house. Cars used to be built differently. This car does not fit in my garage.
And you live on the corner.
I live on a corner lot.
Yeah.
This thing is bright green and blue.
Yes.
And
your face is on it.
Everybody can see it. My face is on it.
Oh,
I would
love
zip
it.
that thing real quick into my garage.
I was actually, so yesterday or the day before, Alan asked me to pick up something for the car. The car needed new wipers. So I go to, a parts store, and Jimmy's with me. He's helping me get the parts. And the parking lot is slightly tricky, which wouldn't be a problem if I was in my own car.
Yeah.
But I get very nervous in other people's cars because, I don't own this car. I don't want to wreck it. It's way bigger than I'm used to.
Yep.
So he had to get out and, help me maneuver because I'm be sure I don't want to hit anything. And I'm in this car with my face on it.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's other people in the parking lot. And I'm telling my mom this story on the phone. And I'm like, Mom, everyone was staring at me and my face is on the side of the car. She's like, honey, no one was staring at you. I'm like, no, this one guy was actually staring at me.
Yes, they do stare. They do stare when you're in
Of course, it's a billboard. People look at billboards.
Yeah.
You're sitting in your car and you look around while you're sitting at a light or whatever. I would do that and people would be looking at me. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, don't look around.
Don't look at me. Are you looking at me just because the car is loud, or are you looking at me because you recognize that I'm also the person on the back?
No, what they're looking at is, look at this very loudly advertising vehicle next to me. I don't see that very often.
And this woman that looks like she doesn't know how to drive.
Now, how does Jimmy feel about riding in it?
He likes it. He actually
I knew it.
He really wants one. And I've told him in no uncertain terms we're not getting this car. It's too big for me.
It is quite.
I hate having to drive it. Very grateful I can borrow it because we're having car trouble, but I hate driving it.
But he doesn't mind riding.
Oh no, he
as
likes
a passenger.
He likes riding in it.
In that, yeah, he loves it. My kids, I was shocked. They love it. Like, hey, Dad, you want to come pick me up in that thing? I was like, no, I don't.
Even with your face on it, they want you to pick you up. Really, that surprises me.
I don't understand it.
Wow.
I think they somehow get some sort of cool points or something with their
maybe.
friends if some radio station car picks them up. I don't know.
It's a budget limo.
I had a buddy who bought a used hearse at one point.
Oh,
no.
no.
Cool.
And was pick up the kids from school in the hearse.
No.
Yes.
That's bad.
Open the back door and have them climb in there.
Yes. See, Ron, you get it.
I do.
Epic
I would
dad
love it.
move. I was like, wow, dude, you did it. Way to go, man. So I'm hoping folks recognize Daria. Now she
Time
has
for Daria to be found.
I dropped it off yesterday. Jimmy's car is fixed.
Oh,
The car is back where it
boo.
belongs, not in my driveway.
You should use it more because Lauren can hide the vehicle. She has a very long driveway and a way to kind of hide it.
Yeah, our garage is behind our house.
Yeah.
So you got to go behind.
Daria can't hide.
No.
Not at all.
The only person that saw me with the vehicle was our neighbor. So
What did your
he's
neighbor
fine.
say?
Well, we share a driveway. He sees all things. So it's like, hey, Mike, it's fine.
He sees all things.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, our instructions for you are if you encounter the Moody Radio Cleveland
Honk loudly.
vehicle, you honk and wave.
Oh, no.
Honk. I mean,
Yes.
if you're right behind us, you might not want to honk at a stoplight. That'll make some of us nervous. But come up next to us, honk and wave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Daria should drive it more often.
No.
Brian's turn.
I mean,
We
it's
got
been a lot of years,
We got a
ladies.
lot of requests for it to be in Garrettsville.
Okay. I can just
We
remind
did.
you, I've
Well,
been
you're
here
gonna-
for a while.
You're going
This
to
has
disappoint
happened
the
to me.
people of Garrettsville?
I used to drive all over Broadview
You're
Heights.
going to disappoint the people of Garrettsville to not see the car.
I'll drive the car.
Good.
Just
Fine.
not on an icy day near
Yeah.
a car dealership.
Yeah.
Can you
This time
imagine?
of year is not good for
no.
Brian.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, there's a T-shirt that goes along with the new ministry that I think, Lauren, go ahead, comment.
He's lifting up his glasses.
Yeah.
When do you get your new ones? Are they coming soon?
They arrive next week.
How exciting.
I know, I can't wait, and I'll have to be like, where do I put it so I can read in my progressives? But the T-shirt says, pray, eat, wrestle, repeat.
Okay.
Pray, eat, wrestle, repeat. And it's from a church. And it's you're meant to take this literally.
Oh, it's not like wrestling with God.
Correct.
Like what's his name did.
Jacob?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got the hip problem now?
Yeah. Now.
Well, I was thinking of Ron Eastwood. I'm like, I wonder if that's why his hips are resurfaced. He's been wrestling with God
Oh my
a bit.
God.
Both of them. Look at that.
Really got into that wrestling
I
match.
won't let you go till you give me a blessing. I am Ron Eastwood. And then hit the hip. And he kept going. And he got the second hip. Ron Eastwood. And also, I have a bone to pick with you all about a new feature on some technology that I'm equally frustrated it exists, just like lots of others in the past.
How exciting if God calls you to missionary aviation. Moody Bible Institute offers the Missionary Aviation Technology degree with a maintenance specialist emphasis. It includes engine overhaul, airframe rebuild, turbine engine maintenance and repair, avionics systems installation, and much more. Get started on your application today at moody.edu/aviation. Over 65 years of missionary aviation training. What an exciting way to serve God. moody.edu/aviation.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Medi-Share is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 15th, so call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 877-58-BIBLE. That's 877-58-BIBLE, 877-58-BIBLE.
Bringing Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania closer to Christ, one conversation at a time. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio, Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio, Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
King and Country. I have a bone to pick with the team on a new technological feature we need to get rid of. 440-546-2255. We got questions for Dave Szfranski that can get in line here. He'll be here from 8 to 9 answering your financial questions. So I got a notification yesterday in Outlook, and I need to talk through this with all of you because all of you are doing this to me now, and I don't
I already
appreciate
know what it is.
Now, for those unfamiliar, I mean, I guess most people know about Outlook, right? It's one of the most. If you work in a sort of a white collar setting, you've got Outlook,
or you'd have the Gmail, like
one
Google
of the two.
Workspace. Yeah.
But a lot of people will even connect their Gmail to Outlook because it's Microsoft's primary. It's like the quintessential email software. Okay.
Yes.
And they somehow decided to add, like, somehow we're on social media that you can do a reaction to an email. And I got a summary email.
Yeah, I don't like the summary emails.
And it
I
was
like
the first I heard of it.
You're the first you heard of what?
I got a list. Suddenly, Lauren reacted to an email I sent last week.
Right.
And I didn't know until now. A week went by, and I'm like, wow, she just ignores everything I do. And now
You didn't pay attention to anything I did or didn't do in email.
Well, I guess that's true. But like, I got this digest, they call it.
Yeah.
Of all of your reactions.
Digest.
But I'm never notified when you do it.
Yeah, you're not notified, but you can look on the side. There's a little panel, and it shows like, you can see all these reactions here. You can also see in your inbox, it'll have like a little thumbs up on the email.
But I don't keep things in my inbox when I'm done with it. I move it, so I'll never see the reactions.
Well, you'll still see on the side panel you can see that it says, "Oh, Ron liked your message," or "Ron hearted your message."
I don't have that panel. They didn't give me that one.
It's
that's not how it is.
on mine.
Jesus.
I like it because I can let people know that I've seen the email.
Well, they don't know.
Other people see. I can let people know I've seen the
Not
email
you,
without actually crafting
but
a
everybody
response.
I'm not that weird that there's other people that are not using this and not aware that it exists. And so there's a bunch of people reacting and no one knows they're doing it.
I only knew it a couple months ago when I got my first reaction digest like that. At first, I thought it was spam.
Yep.
I thought Microsoft Reaction Digest, what would that be?
Look right here, Brian. See? A little thumbs up, a little
But
heart.
I'd have to go back to the email that I've already moved out of my inbox and find it just to see, I wonder if anyone's reacted to this. What is this, Facebook? And I want to see if people like my post?
Look, notifications right here, the little bell. Oh, reacted. Look at all that.
I think the vast majority of well-adjusted Americans are not reacting to emails.
I don't know about that.
I don't want that in email.
You don't do well with emails. Like I will send you stuff, and I will have to walk in your office 3 days later because you haven't responded.
Oh
to
no,
it.
I respond quickly now to yours because you said that. I respond. There's nothing waiting from you in my inbox.
It still takes you a while.
Sometimes, but I think I bet there's many other well-adjusted Jesus-following Americans.
What does that have to do with it?
I'm trying to ramp it up here, enhance it. That are listening
You're so
right now.
Dramatic.
That are like. Stop this.
Okay, but here's something.
What?
You love the reactions in an iMessage.
Well, yeah, because here's what happens. I'm notified immediately that it's happening. And
I don't want a notification in my Outlook. I really don't. That's too many. I'm glad Ron saw it.
Well, and listen, the digest from the three of you was so long, I didn't have time to look at all of it. You've wasted time. People are not looking at your reactions. They're not.
You don't have to look at the digest.
You also don't have to look at the reactions.
Well, then what's the point of them?
Some people like them.
They like to do something.
It
saves me brain power to not have to craft an email. Thanks, I saw this. I can just hit thumbs up, and whoever knows that I saw it.
But this is one of those, like, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there, does it make a sound? Does anybody know? It's like you're doing something that people might not even see.
That's not true. There is a notifications bar.
I think you're the only one who hasn't figured this out.
Ron, where do you
Ron
fall in
uses
this?
them, so don't even.
I know he uses them. I've seen it.
Now that I'm aware of what it does, I use it. Yeah.
But do you go and process through who's reacting to you?
When I notice the little bell has a red number 1 or 2.
Yes, thank you, Ron.
Especially number 2, I'll go and look at it and see, like most recently, Daria reacted to a message that I sent her.
So now I have to go look for the bell. I don't want a bell.
You
in
don't
my
have
email.
to do anything.
But I feel like I
No one
have
is
to.
asking you.
Just respond to my emails and I'll be happy.
Yeah, as long as you respond to things that people are asking you for, it doesn't matter.
You guys, just to show you, I'm going to start reacting to everything you send me.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
Changes literally nothing.
I
for
will
the three
know
of
that
us.
you have seen them because I don't know half the time, which is why I don't always email you. I just walk
Say
in your
it.
office.
Got him.
There it is. I knew you were going to do it. Got him.
Got him.
Okay.
She's right. It changes nothing for the three of us, so.
Somebody
Do whatever
else
you
has to feel like this. Can we just leave well enough alone? And what's well enough? Email.
Well, I like that I don't have to reply thanks to every email. That really just takes up my
That really bogs
sent
down
folder.
the inbox. I don't like that.
But that runs
Thanks.
contrary to your philosophy even of texting. Like, why would you need to write thanks?
This is a professional place. This is not me texting with my friends.
Like if I'm being given a new piece of information or someone's asking me to do a task, especially if it's my boss, I can't just not reply. I have to let him know that I saw it and that I'm working on it.
Sometimes our boss is a little aloof like me. So maybe he doesn't even know about these reactions.
He does.
How do you know?
Because he uses them. Like I will send him stuff and he'll like give it a thumbs up reaction. So I know he saw it.
You know, honestly, it's better than when he puts his little GIFs in the emails.
I don't even know how he does that. Like
I prefer.
He has a library.
You guys, you know that he has a folder on his computer. He has to, right?
He does.
You need to explain this.
He has to. He has to go in there. Okay, our boss replies not once, not twice, usually 3 times to the same email with a little like GIF or meme into the email.
Clip art too.
Clip art. He
Very large sized clip art.
loves clip art.
Like giant smiley face, thumbs up. Way to go, team.
Bravo. He loves clip art. And then sometimes I'm like, why is he so fast? And I've thought about this. I went on a rant about it actually to my 2 friends about how he loves clip art. And I said, do you guys think he has a folder on his desktop that are just right there so he can just click in really quick? Because there's no way he's going to the internet, finding it, downloading it, inserting it.
Because we see the same ones. Like they
Yes.
rotate. They've got to be right there on his desktop.
So he must have spent like an hour researching one day just to fill up the folder.
Or when he finds it, he saves it, you know?
Just collects them.
If he doesn't have one and he has to go look for it, then he saves it for later.
What's the doing responding 3 times thing? Is that he forgets he responds?
No, I think he finds another one that he likes.
I think he just gets excited.
So I'm all right with reactions from him.
So it sounds like even Paul texting us that
Yeah,
I
he said
need
it's a
to
Brian
adjust.
problem.
I need to adjust.
Yeah, I think that's fine. You don't have to use them, but you also don't need to be upset about it.
But I want to be upset about it.
Well,
It's better than being upset about things that actually matter.
I don't know about
Wait,
that.
maybe not. Scratch that. Reverse it. Anywho, T-shirts. Pray, eat, wrestle, repeat.
So we're not talking about wrestling with God. We're talking about
No.
actual wrestling.
Well, I mean,
Greco-Roman.
we're kind of
Greco-Roman.
we're
wrestling.
sort of talking about wrestling with God a little
Okay.
bit, but primarily not. Now, I'm sure you're aware. Words on the street. I was a wrestler. 7th grade.
Just the once.
5'4", 113. 113 pounds. I was solid muscle.
Right.
Was that the lowest weight class?
No.
Ooh,
And
wow.
I remember my first wrestling match.
7th graders can be pretty small.
I didn't know what I was doing. And my parents came to watch
Did you
a
not
wrestling
have
meet.
practice first?
Well, yeah, but like if you're just learning how to wrestle, like even just the rules,
Oh, I can imagine.
learning not only moves but getting out of them
Yeah.
is way down the line. Like, and I didn't know. My parents came, they wait. My mom's like, I'm gonna get a quick drink of water here. While she was out just getting a drink of water in a 60-second time period, my name was called. We went up, we started and finished the match.
You pinned him that fast.
No, I was pinned, Ron. It was over. I lost, and it was over. I had another time where I was in a cradle. Are you familiar with a cradle?
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's where somebody would wrap their arm around the back of your neck, and then their other arm under your knee of one of your legs, pull those together and grab hold of their arms together. So your knee is up against your face.
Yeah, that's not working for me.
And I was in that for an entire round. Guy got me in a cradle, and no one ever
Wait.
told me how to get out.
Wait, no one like said this is over now?
No, because
you
your
just-
shoulders have to be on the mat.
Right.
You just sat.
They just
Yeah.
held them.
Shoulders have to be on the mat. And so
Just-
Rockabye baby.
long?
so I just, they're yelling, over there, come on, Brian, man. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm in this really uncomfortable position, and this kid is stronger than me.
How
So
long were you there for?
how long is it around? I don't know, a couple minutes.
And
Maybe-
there's people just watching you?
Yes. I kept my shoulder off the mat, Lauren. I didn't get pinned.
I would have just laid down and gotten pinned. I'm not staying there.
Yeah, and there's a
Pin
way to
myself.
get out. Afterwards, the coach was like, why didn't you do X, Y, and Z? And I was like, well, because you never told me. I don't know what to do. It felt pretty impossible at the moment.
Right.
This giant kid.
So you just sandwiched it
Yes.
for like 5 minutes.
And my only goal was to keep my shoulder
So
off the mat.
sad.
It was sad.
But
I
you
got-
achieved your goal.
I did. I made
for
it through
you.
the entire
Oh my
round with my
gosh,
shoulder
I
off the
feel
mat.
So sad.
Yeah, I need to give Lauren a
Oh
minute
my
to
God.
recover, and then we'll talk about a church that's kind of doing this.
I'm Jamie Buxton, and this is Pause for Prayer. How many times have you already heard this season, "Are you ready for the holidays?" What does that even mean? If I were to guess what people mean when they ask that of one another, if they're ready for the holidays, I would say most are not talking about spiritual readiness. I bet what they typically mean is, have you made the list of all the stuff you need to get done before the 25th, and have you checked it off? My list often includes planning events, decorating my home, deciding on present lists, and lots of shopping, house cleaning, and wrapping. Let's pause for prayer. Jesus, I wonder if I was there for the first Christmas, if I would have missed it all with the secondary celebrations distracting me. I pray, Lord God, that you would help me to not just enjoy all of the busyness of the holidays, but to focus on what it truly is we're celebrating. I pray, Jesus, that you would prepare my heart for Christmas. Father, make me more like Joseph and allow me to listen closely and realize the voice of God is speaking. Make me like Mary, that I might ponder and treasure the miracles of heaven. God, make me like the angels and motivate me to sing and worship fully to the King. Make me like the shepherds, that you would gently guide me into worship. Make me like the wise men and teach me to share my most valuable gifts with you. God, make me like the innkeeper and give me hospitality and motivate me to open my heart and my home to others. God, I pray my busyness will not overshadow my desire to truly worship this season. Don't allow me to miss Christmas because I'm too busy to experience the miracle. In your precious name I pray, amen.
Today, there is a disciple-making church planting movement that's taken root in 40 countries around the world. It's called the Timothy Initiative, and its mission is to see a healthy church planted in every village, everywhere. Since 2007, over 200,000 churches have been planted through the work of the Timothy Initiative, but there's more work to be done. Take your place in the Timothy Initiative. Go to ttiglobal.org.
Wishing you a season full of laughter, love, joy, and peace for you and your family. Merry Christmas from your friends at Mornings with Brian and Moody Radio Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
642, new song, WCRF, Mornings with Brian. All right, the one's the church in England taking wrestling with your faith very literally. Here's the basics, as reported by Relevant Magazine. St. Peter's Church in Shipley, Bradford, is hosting monthly wrestling matches, turning their sanctuary into a wrestling ring in hopes of reversing the country's declining church attendance. And don't think the wrestling I described a little bit ago, where it's like singlets and big mats that have ringworm on them and things like that.
Yeah.
No, it's a thing, Lauren. I'll just leave it there. Think professional wrestling. The events are hosted by something called Kingdom Wrestling. It's a totally real Christian pro wrestling charity that combines WWE-style moves with sermons to wrestle with life's big questions.
Interesting.
Gareth Angel Thompson, a 37-year-old wrestler and Kingdom Wrestling staple, he sees the sport as a perfect metaphor for faith. He says, any Christian will tell you that when you go through life, you wrestle with stuff. You wrestle with your faith. Wrestling gives us the opportunity to tell those stories.
So is it just a Christian wrestling group?
It's like Christian WWE. Like they do the whole really fake bad acting thing too.
What? It's not real?
Oh, sorry. Spoiler. I should have given a spoiler. Like there's one, David Starkiller Birch is one of the wrestlers. And he unleashed some WWE-style trash talking at one of the events. Is this your savior? You have no God. The Star Killer is now your God.
Okay. Oh, my.
Daria's already... Do I even have to ask Daria what she thinks of this?
I mean, I don't mind using creative things to reach out to people. Like churches host events. It's not just service, but that guy's trash talk is not okay.
What's wrong? You don't like it? It's Star Killer. You should be nervous.
You're a Christian wrestling group and you're letting your people talk like that. Like that's blasphemy.
It's acting.
It's blasphemy.
You can find other ways to trash talk.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying he's the theologian in the group. I'm just... Now, let's see if anything changes for you when I share with you a quote from the pastor and some statistics.
Okay, so it's like not some club. They do it at the church during
Once
service?
a month.
Okay, once a month. Okay.
They have an event at the church in the sanctuary where they move out all
I feel fine so far.
chairs or pews, and it's like
it's
wrestling
fine with me.
ring, and all the... Anybody got tickets to the gun show? And they're like, hey, Lauren, you got any mice?
No.
Because these pythons are hungry.
Okay. That's like way too much.
Wow.
Yeah, Ron's marking that one down. Okay, so Reverend Thomas of St. Peter's defends the approach, saying, quote, people may have a certain perception of what church can be, but actually church can be anything about worshiping God. That can be having fun, and wrestling is part of that. There it comes.
I don't agree with his description of church.
What do you mean? What's wrong with that description of church?
Church can be anything.
That's worshiping God.
No, it can't. No, it's
okay.
no.
Then what's the guardrails?
Okay, I can worship God out in the forest. That's not church.
So, but church is the gathering of people, you're saying?
Yeah.
There are hints of truth in that statement, but that doesn't make it a true statement.
And a church should have elders and leaders and shepherds.
Well, I think that's implied because it's a church building here, and it's the...
He said anything fun.
I don't mind people having fun and hosting fun events in churches. Like, all churches do that, but calling a wrestling event, like, this is church, not this is happening in church, but this is church.
I'm fine with the wrestling thing at church.
Mm-hmm.
I can get a different group of people there. They can have fun. They can, have good influences around them for all people who like wrestling. He got me with the church can be anything fun.
Okay. Because I think Ron's over there booking his plane tickets. I think he's ready to go to England.
Ron is welcome to do that.
Honey, forget Stonehenge. We're not going to the Westminster
Christian WWE.
This is right. So let's see if this statistic changed the cynical women on our team here, Ron.
Okay.
Since its inception in 2021, Kingdom Wrestling has baptized more than 30 people. And it's sort of a training school for aspiring wrestlers who want to connect with their faith.
I have said
People
at
are getting
least
saved
thrice that I am okay with the wrestling at church, with this program, with this event. I think he went a little off track when he just tried to describe what church is.
Yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with this activity.
Yeah, it's fine. Just like doing, I don't know, lock-ins or whatever for the youths.
Nightmares with a
Yeah, I
lock-in
didn't learn
is.
anything about Jesus at those.
Yeah, or, it's just like having any other type of event you have, like a weekly thing at church.
So what are the guardrails you need to make WWE wrestling come to the church near you in Ohio? You don't like this one just because of the description
I
of
have
church?
not said that.
No, you don't like the description of church. This is what I'm trying to get to.
Okay.
So are you saying that you can have the event, but that event does not count as worship? Is that what you're saying?
That event by itself alone does not count as church.
Does not count as church. Okay.
Yes.
And you're both just mad at how they described church.
Mm-hmm.
But you're
'Cause he said-
two thumbs up.
Church can be anything fun.
And then you said thrice, which I'm still really excited about.
Yes, because I did say thrice that I'm fine with the event. I think it's fine. Do it if that's what works for your community, what's working in your community, what people like.
Now, if I were in charge of anything, which I'm not, I would now transition to what would Lauren and Daria's wrestling names be? The look on your face was worth every second that it took me to get that out. What would be your wrestling name?
I don't know. We need one of those like online generators. Like use your puppy's first name.
I know what it would
and
be
your
already.
Second Street's name.
You're the Intimidator.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Our friend Phil he's mayor of Armandoville, texted me yesterday, and he goes, "She intimidates me, and I don't even work there."
Well, he's texting in disparaging words about Jump 5.
The Intimidator. What's Daria's wrestling name? I'm scared to even come up with one for Daria.
I don't know. I've
Rob?
never had to think about this.
Yeah, me neither. I don't really think about wrestling names.
Talk amongst yourselves. You're welcome to submit your requests and your
text
ideas for Lauren and Daria's wrestling names, since they love this. They think it's great.
Yeah.
People are getting saved, and they want to bring a wrestling ring to your sanctuary.
If that works for your community, please do.
I can see him bringing the heat from the top ring. Bam.
Steve texted in Shaquille. If you don't know, ask somebody.
Prayer isn't a substitute for action. It is an action for which there is no substitute. At a time when several states have again voted to expand abortion rights and the abortion bill continues to rise, prayer is a powerful response. That's why CareNet has formed the Abundant Life Prayer Network. When you join the Abundant Life Prayer Network, you'll be connected to a compassionate community of Christians who are praying for fathers and mothers at risk for choosing abortion, praying for our nation's pregnancy centers and churches as they minister to these fathers and mothers, and praying that unborn babies and their parents will not only have life, but will have abundant life through Christ. As a part of CareNet's Abundant Life Prayer Network, you'll impact lives, grow spiritually, and join with other Christians who share your respect for life and your love for those facing pregnancy decisions. Learn more about the Abundant Life Prayer Network at care-net.org/prayer. care-net.org/prayer. Join today. Pastors have to make tons of decisions, including what to do to meet healthcare needs for themselves and their staff. Christian Healthcare Ministries specializes in making healthcare decisions easy and affordable. Not insurance, but a health cost sharing ministry for over 40 years. CHM opens the door for individuals, families, and yes, pastors to be a part of a biblical way to meet medical bills. Get more information and answers to your questions at chministries.org/Moody. That's chministries.org/Moody.
From our Moody Radio Cleveland family to yours, wishing you love, joy, and peace today, tomorrow, and always. Merry Christmas.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
we're going to jump into pretend
here we
experts
go.
here in
You're gonna have
just
to
a
sing
moment. No, I will not sing it. But before we get to it, actually, here on WCRF, someone submitted a wrestling name for Daria.
Yeah, our friend Christina said I should be called the Executor because I get stuff done.
I
to
like
that I
it.
say
Nice.
amen.
And then someone else said your wrestling name should be you should be like a tag team duo.
Yeah, that girl.
Oh.
I've got it. Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
I can picture it. All right, let's get to it.
They look at business decisions and impose their positions. Without a doubt, they know what they're talking about. It's time for Pretend Experts.
Our first story comes to us from San Francisco, California.
That is not how they sound.
I can do whatever I want.
If Super Mario was describing that city, that's how he would
That was
say
like
it.
Italian and Scottish.
The-
It was weird.
The first time I went there, I couldn't San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't stop insisting that I want to find rice-a-roni, which you all are unfamiliar with because you're far too young, but it's the
I know
San
what
Francisco
rice-a-roni
treat.
I have rice-a-roni in my pantry right
It's
now.
the San Francisco treat. Did you know that? They used to have jingles out there all the time. You don't even know the jingle, I bet.
I do know it because we've
Go-
talked about this
How
before.
does it go again?
Got him.
I don't know the jingle, but I know it's a San Francisco treat because we've had this exact conversation before.
You mean I'm repeating something I've said before?
Never.
No. Okay, so a CEO of a tech startup is openly said that he's looking for employees who are willing to work long hours, specifically up to 84 hours a week.
Do they get paid
Who would
extra?
do that?
Well, he leads a company called Greptile. I don't know what that is, but he focuses on artificial intelligence. He shared on social media that he expects his team to be available from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. at least 5 days a week, often on weekends, to stay competitive in the market. He's faced a lot of criticism for the schedule, but he has received several job applications. And he does promise that if you're ready to do some hard work, there'll be significant financial rewards in the future.
Yeah.
This is a kid who has no idea how the real world works.
Hard pass on that.
I don't
job.
see anyone signing up for that, especially when you don't know how much, if you're getting paid at all, because it's a startup.
And what's wild is people are actually signing up for it. Like, he's got some applications. Who sees that and says, 84? If it was 85, I'm out. But 84 hours, I'm in. Let's do this. Weird.
Yeah. Only I could imagine somebody who's really young and idealistic and thinks that, maybe this could be the next Google or Facebook or whatever.
I guess.
The next NVIDIA.
Well, CEOs of companies are known for not keeping all of it for themselves.
Right.
And they're certainly known for rewarding their employees. So I guess we give this there we go. Next story comes to us from Chicago. I got some Polish sausage in Chicago. Don't shake your head. That was good. Da Bears. Da Bulls.
And it's trapped right here.
So, are you guys fans of the McRib?
No.
No, not really.
Have you ever had it?
Okay.
Yes.
It just looks too weird.
I knew it. I knew you hadn't had. You can't dislike it if you haven't tried it.
It doesn't look like anything that belongs in my mouth.
Ron likes it.
Yeah. I don't order it very often. Well, it's not around very often.
I do like that it's like, some sort of gelatinous material pressed into the shape of ribs.
Yeah, you can't just eat like ribs still on the bone on a sandwich.
Right.
That's not how that works.
But fans of the McRib will soon be able to buy a jug of the sauce used in the famous sandwich. They're going to be selling, it's called a whole lot of McRib sauce jugs online. They cost $20. And it's the first time they've ever done this, offering the sauce they put on their McRib sandwiches. So you could actually have real ribs with McRib sauce.
It'll sell.
Yeah, I think so.
Is this good business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For them, yeah.
Not for the people who have to eat it.
What would you say if Jimmy came home with a jug of McRib sauce?
So you're eating that whole thing by yourself.
Lauren?
I don't even know what it tastes like. I'll try it. I can't recall what it tastes like.
It's got to be better than Vegemite, I can tell you that.
That is true.
All right, final story. I'm going to try to hide my feelings about this.
Unlikely.
Scientists have created robotic shorts, not
Like
videos,
pants?
like pants, that help people walk further using less energy. Walk On, they're called, wraps around your waist with a harness and has artificial Kevlar tendons that attach to your legs as you walk. The shorts analyze your movement patterns and help take the strain off your hips. So many people will benefit from this cool tech.
Okay, so I think this would be great for people who have like mobility issues, like an injury or something like that.
What you're so limiting
But
to
it's
this
going to be
technology.
so outrageously expensive for them.
We already have an obesity epidemic. Like, people just walk, please.
Oh, it helps you go further, Daria.
No, it says it takes less energy.
Yeah.
I think this has great potential for people that have issues, like
Yes.
legitimate issues walking, but I'm
Agreed.
also concerned because we have an obesity epidemic.
You hate lazy people. You're anti-lazy.
I'm anti-lazy doesn't mean I hate the people.
You're like an anti-lazite.
Yeah.
Stop it. If I want to be able to wear these shorts.
Stop being anti-lazy?
Yes.
I won't stop doing that.
Wow, she's proud in her bias and discrimination.
She is. She's discriminating against lazy people. Why couldn't I put on a pair of these shorts,
Because you're not going to pay for them.
pull down those tendons, attach them to the legs, and go on a long walk? Why can't I do that?
I don't think you would, even if you had the shorts.
Probably not, but it would help me get to the car with a little bit less effort.
Exactly.
From the front door.
Exactly the problem.
Ron, I bet you would wear these at your overnight job.
I wouldn't pay for them, but if they were giving me like a free trial, I would try them out. I don't know. It seems like it would be weird having assistance in your motion.
I think it sounds great. Would you try it if you got a free trial, ladies?
No.
Wouldn't you even try it?
I'm not putting on robotic shorts. Which is a sentence that I never thought I'd have to say.
You think Jimmy would like them? I bet
No.
he would. He would give it a try, wouldn't he?
No.
I think you should ask him and report back to us.
All right. He's asleep right now.
I'm not going to ask about Eddie because he'd just go, "Pfft, losers."
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's this week's edition of Pretend Experts. We give that one, I guess, a thumbs down, even though I'm giving it that. I love it. Okay, 7:02. We're going to get to Ron's news and today's Moron Moment. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to talk Christmas traditions. What's your favorite Christmas tradition in your family? Maybe it's unique or just special to you. We want to hear about it. We're going to talk about ours. 440-546-2255.
Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland, WCRF Cleveland, WVMS Sandusky, WVML Millersburg, WVMN Newcastle, WVME Meadville, WVMU Ashtabula, and everywhere with the Moody Radio app or at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
The NYPD says the gun found on the man suspected of killing United Healthcare CEO match shell casings found at the Manhattan crime scene. It's 7:03. I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. Commissioner Jessica Tisch also confirms that Luigi Mangione's fingerprints matched prints found on a water bottle and a Kind bar found near the scene. These are the first forensic matches that tie the 26-year-old to the scene where Brian Thompson was gunned down on a street on December 4th. There's no word yet on what caused hazmat crews to respond last night to a business in Brook Park. The incident happened at around 9 p.m. at Athens Food and led workers to be evacuated. And Ohio legislators are passing a bill which updates the state's stalking laws. Senate Bill 100, which was recently passed, makes it a crime to put on or install an electronic tracking device, such as an Apple AirTag, on someone's property without consent. The bill also raises repeat offenses to a fourth-degree felony. The bill now heads to Governor DeWine's desk to be signed into law. I'll be right back with sports and weather.
Hamas from the south, Hezbollah from the north. Since the war began, more than 19,000 rockets have been fired into Israel. Moody Radio invites you to pause and pray. Lord of the nations, we ask your protection over Israel. We pray that you would destroy the machinery of war that threatens her. May the United States remain an ally. And together, we pray for the peace of Jerusalem and the entire Middle East. In the name of the Prince of Peace, Jesus. Amen.
In sports, Shane Bieber formally signed a one-year deal with Cleveland yesterday. The Guardians ace missed most of the 24 season after having Tommy John surgery in April, and his recovery is expected to last into the 25 season. So hopefully we will get to see some of him this coming season. In other news, radio broadcaster Tom Hamilton was named the 2025 Ford C. Frick Award winner yesterday. Here is your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast, and we'll start off with the warnings. For Ashtabula County in Ohio and Erie County in Pennsylvania, a lake effect snow warning in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow, that's Friday. For Lake Geauga counties in Ohio and Crawford County in Pennsylvania, a winter weather advisory in effect until that same time, 7 a.m. Friday. Now for today, for most of us, partly cloudy, a slight chance of snow showers this morning, and cooler, much cooler, with highs around 20 degrees. At last check, we had mostly cloudy skies, 30 degrees in Cleveland. Still some flurries in the Akron-Canton area, 28 degrees. Ashtabula, flurries, and 30 degrees.
It's time for your moron moment.
Need a headshot, but it's not worth hiring a professional photographer? Well, skip the cropped group pic or the obvious selfie. For professional-looking photos, go with a slight smile instead of your biggest grin, and blur the background so the person viewing your profile can focus on your face. If your phone has portrait mode, use that. And that's your Moron Moment. And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 7:07. With Moody Radio News, I'm Ron Eastwood.
Broadcasting live from the Bob Devine Studio, it's Mornings with Brian. Want to join the conversation? Call or text now at 440-546-2255. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
What are your Christmas traditions? The ones that stand out in your mind. We're less than 2 weeks now from Jesus' big birthday and Christmas celebrations. I said big birthday like it's his golden birthday or something.
Yeah.
I don't know why
He's turning 25.
440-546-2255. We'd love to hear what yours are. We'll certainly share ours. And this is actually a great chance for someone to come up with, to adopt one of yours. It's when you have a young family. I don't know if you felt this way, Lauren, or Daria for that matter. Sarah and I were intentional, even when we were first married, about like, what are our traditions going to be?
Okay.
What's Christmas going to look like for us? And sometimes you create new traditions, borrow somebody else's. I don't know. So we'll start with age before beauty. Ron, what are your Christmas traditions?
Well, a lot have changed over the years now that the kids have grown up and flown the coop. I tried one year to make donuts. We had a little, donut press, kind of like a George Foreman grill, but for donuts.
You had a donut maker?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Way to go, Ron.
Make two side by side. And I did the, mix the batter up and was baking the donuts, I guess, because they were cake style.
Look at you.
But nobody was really all that interested.
Really?
So, yeah.
Nobody wanted homemade donuts?
No.
Are your kids
That's
okay?
very upsetting.
Yeah, I don't know what their problem was. So,
and then, I mean, usually you're the guy that is the taste tester.
Right.
But in this case, Dana was relaxing.
Yes, she was.
And you were making donuts, and nobody cared.
I'm sure she was doing something else, but yeah.
She doesn't relax well? Yeah, Sarah doesn't either. I get it.
So that was one I tried that didn't work out. Usually there's, the one person has to distribute the gifts. So Dana's really intentional about each child has a certain design of wrapping paper.
They each get their own.
Yes.
Oh, cute.
Oh, I like
so,
that.
Yeah.
So it's easy then, like if I'm the one passing out, then I can see, okay, this is going to be a Ryan, give that to him. This one's going to be a Mark. Wait a minute. Okay. And try to control the flow. So the focus is on one gift at a time.
And sounds like you play Santa.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Tried that.
Very good.
Yeah. So those are things we've done in the past. Now the tradition is go over to my daughter's house early in the morning, and between us and Dana's folks going over there, Jenna will call us when the kids are up, but we try to set our alarm for like 6 so that we're at least coherent when we go over.
Okay.
And, get your coffee and you head over there and watch them open gifts.
Now, do you guys do one gift at a time, like one person opens a gift and everyone watches them, or is it like a free-for-all?
No,
Yeah, one at a time. We try.
Sarah insists
Like
on
Matthias
the one at a
gets
time.
one gift and he opens it, and then Marshall goes next and he opens one gift, and you go like around in a circle.
Correct. And we usually go into age order.
Okay.
Is what we usually do. So I said age before beauty, so I'm next. It's pretty good.
I just thought you meant you were the next oldest.
Hey!
Than me.
Oh, total burn.
That's what I thought you
Got
meant too.
Got him.
I thought like age and then beauty. That's
No.
what it's... Okay, well, I'm not going next then. Lauren, Christmas tradition.
You did that to yourself.
Totally
that was
burned
a
me.
self. No, that was a
And you
self
did
burn
that to
because we both thought that's what you meant.
But one interpretation could be that right
It
after
could.
age is beauty.
It could be. I just thought you meant.
I thought I was being
you
so
were
clever.
next. Traditions.
Have you made any for your little family?
Well, some I've just carried over. I don't think we have new ones.
Eddie's desperately trying to change one of your Christmas traditions.
Yeah, he's trying to change pre-Christmas just to be any gifts early. We do orange rolls on the morning of Christmas.
I don't get it.
They're like cinnamon rolls, but with like an orange glaze.
Oh,
okay.
So for breakfast, because you don't want to fill up too much. Like you don't want a huge breakfast because you got to save yourself for the meal later.
Are they store-bought or are they
Yes.
homemade?
Yeah, store-bought. I'm going to attempt this year to find some variety I could do for my kids that are dairy-free, but
Oh,
I haven't
wow.
found that yet. It's really hard. So
Can you special order, do you think, at those bakeries that do those kind of things?
I might just get him some vegan donuts so that he has like some treat.
He'll be happy about
Yeah.
that.
So we do that. We also do a stocking scavenger hunt, which is what my mom did for us growing up.
Try to find your stocking?
Yeah, she hides it, and then she gives you like 3 or 4 clues.
Nice.
It's like, go to where Daddy puts his shoes. And so you like run to your dad's closet, and there's another clue there. And then you pick up that clue, like go to where
Does
the
each
dog...
person have a different?
Yes. Go to where the dog food is stored. And so then you go to like where the dog food is stored.
Gigi
Then, like,
really loves Christmas. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yep.
Every kid has a different scavenger
Yes.
hunt.
Mhm.
Gigi, wow.
Yeah, and you got to go like backwards, from like where you hit it.
Wow.
So I've started doing that.
That's fun.
It was like just last year was our first time we could really do it where Trey would understand.
I bet
and
he
liked
loved it.
Yeah.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any others you want to share?
I've already talked about pre-Christmas.
Yeah. And you've started something because our friend Phil from Armandoville, where he's mayor, he gave me some shirts from where he works, and he said it was his pre-Christmas gift to me.
Yes, good.
Nice.
My first thought
Pre-Christmas prevails.
he's done it wrong
Why?
because it's not Christmas themed.
Well, that's okay. It was still a gift.
It's the Cuevas
It's the first
style.
time.
Are-
Yeah, it's
I was
Eddie's
gonna
version.
say,
It's
are-
Eddie's version.
Are we going to tell Eddie it's okay?
No, I'm just not going to shame Phil. He's trying to give gifts.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah. There you go. It's catching on. We have to take a quick break. When we come back, we still have Daria's Christmas traditions. I'll
Yours.
share mine, and we want to hear yours. What are those Christmas traditions you just treasure every year? People look forward to it in your family. Don't have to be complicated or profound. 440-546-2255.
Moody Radio is thankful for listeners and support from businesses like Duma Meats and Farm Market. Duma Meats and Farm Market, supporting Moody Radio in Cleveland and surrounding areas. More information about Duma Meats and Farm Market is at dumameats.com.
Raju has followed Christ for over 40 years, but he cannot read the Bible. Sometimes it felt like he couldn't know anything about Jesus. Then he received a Bible designed specifically for him, a talking Bible. Now Raju can hear the scriptures played to him in his own language and can easily share about Jesus with others. Help India hear about Jesus by equipping non-readers with talking Bibles. Join us at talkingbibles.org/India.
Hey, my name is Brant Hansen, and I have less than 30 seconds here to share something truly, profoundly awesome with you, and I'm going to. It's a website, cure.org/Moody. You'll see God at work, seriously. It's through Cure International Children's Hospitals where kids are healed and the kingdom is proclaimed so brilliantly. I tell people this is the most Jesus-shaped ministry I've ever seen. Check it out. So beautiful. Before and after videos of these kids healed in the name of Jesus. Just go to cure.org/Moody.
Moody Radio is thankful for support for businesses across the country, like Fellowship Home Loans. Whether purchasing or refinancing a home, Mike and Brian walk hand in hand with clients through the whole process. You can learn more about their approach to mortgage lending at fellowshiphomeloans.com.
Bringing Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania closer to Christ, one conversation at a time. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio, Cleveland.
What are those Christmas traditions that are real close to your heart? 440-546-2255. We've heard from Ron and Lauren. Daria, do you and Jimmy have any little special Christmassy things you do? Are you traveling to parents' houses? What are you doing?
So the last year was our first Christmas back in Ohio. So things look different. When I was growing up, my mom's parents would spend Christmas Day with us, and then go to visit my mom's sister on Christmas Day. They'd spend Christmas Eve with us. As they've gotten older and people have moved, things have shifted. So generally speaking, people go down to Grandma and Grandpa's house on Christmas Day. How we do it is we actually do our big meal on Christmas Eve. And then for Christmas dinner is much simpler so that you can kind of relax. So something I've started doing that Jimmy really likes, I will do a cottage pie on Christmas Eve. It's
I don't get it. What's that?
You know what a shepherd's pie is?
So it's like a savory pie. It's like a meat pie.
Yeah, a cottage pie is a shepherd's pie, but it's ground beef instead of lamb.
Oh, so it's. But what's different than that in a pot pie? Because I guess I'm curious. I love pot pie.
So a shepherd's pie or a cottage pie is like you've got your meat mixed with vegetables, and then you layer mashed potatoes on top of it.
Oh, that distinguishes it from the pot pie.
Yes.
Got it. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's very good. So I make that, and then.
Do you make that for Ron and me as well? Or
No, it's a lot of work, so I only make it once a year.
Oh, is it a lot of work?
It's a lot of work, yeah, because you got to do the potatoes, and then the meat has to like simmer, and like the sauces for so long, and the vegetables take a really long time to chop up. So I don't make it very often.
And then the veggies got to get soft.
Yeah, so it's a labor-intensive dish. And then Christmas Day, my mom always did homemade cinnamon rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's family always did fried ham, so we do both of those Christmas
so
morning.
Like pan-fried, you're saying?
Yeah.
Like slices pan-fried? Oh, that's delicious. I love that.
Yeah, so we do cinnamon rolls and ham on Christmas morning. And then my family has always done, you get new ornaments on Christmas Day in your stocking. So Jimmy and I have started doing that. And I accidentally started this thing where he always gets some sort of like rodent or furry critter as his ornament. The first couple years that we were together, I got him a hedgehog one year, and then it was a hamster, and then it was a squirrel. This was totally unintentional, but now it's become a thing where I have to get him like a little rodent type thing for.
But then you're gonna have a rodent tree.
Yeah, we have many small furry critters on our Christmas tree already.
Pretty soon though, you can have just 2 trees, and one of them will be filled with rodents.
Yes. Rodent tree and then Darius tree.
Yeah.
That's really cute and sweet.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. You've had some people text in some of theirs, yeah?
All that could be home for Christmas get together and decorate dozens and dozens of cookies and then give them to friends. My daughter-in-law and granddaughters are very talented, and theirs are always so beautiful.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ron, you guys do cookies, don't you?
Yeah. My wife is part of a cookie exchange.
Oh, those are fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be next week.
Yeah. Our station engineer, Alan Perry, and his wife Heidi, they do cookie making, and they made these really fancy chocolate pretzel things, and
they were delicious.
They're very yummy.
Yeah, in fact, one of my kids was feeling very sad, and so my wife I snuck the treats that he gave us, and I gave it to Sarah, and she goes, "Come over here, I know how to make you feel better," and she gave the kid one of those, and it worked. A little chocolate makes a lot of people feel better. For us, I've brought it up before, but the strong memory for me is my mom's side. Well, both sides are Scandinavian. Okay, not many Scandinavians in Northeast Ohio. Dahlin is a Swedish surname, and we also have Norwegian in us from both sides. So one of the things we did is a Norwegian food. It's called lefse, Lefse. I had a roommate in college who bought some and thought it was just like a tortilla, basically. It's like, leafy sea. I don't know what this is. And he made a sandwich out of it, which is totally wrong. You don't do that. Some people just put butter in it and roll it up. It's riced potatoes rolled out, and then it looks just like a tortilla, but it's made of potato. And it's really good when it's warm right off the griddle. You put butter in it, and a lot of people put brown sugar.
Yum.
It's best when it's right off the griddle. But my grandmother used to make it all by herself. I don't know how she did it. It took forever because she made a quintuple batch or I don't know what the right word would be for what she did, but it was a lot. And we've carried this on. My mom still makes it. My mom and dad do it every year. And my family fights over who gets it. Most people who try it for the first time go, oh, okay, there it is. I mean, imagine having a tortilla with butter on it. Yeah. It's just not that exciting, but there's sentimentality to it for us. So that's something really fun my family does. One of my favorite things, I made this tradition. My dad would be in charge of holding the garbage bag for the wrapping paper.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, and so we still have him do that when they come over. And I collect all the paper, ball it up, and when he's not looking, throw it at him.
That's a Christmas tradition?
Yep, all Christmas morning.
Are you going to carry that on and have your kids throw it at you when you hold the bag?
They've slowly kind of gone like, oh, maybe we should do that to our dad. Like they've started kind of doing it, but I have so much fun doing it. That my dad kind of expects it now, but I ball up the paper and throw it at him. Merry Christmas.
I guess I experience Christmas here in the studio every day.
See, it's a sign of affection.
Is it
brotherly love?
Is it though?
No, usually you throw it at me in angst, so.
And I'm not very good at throwing it at you either, so you should feel better about that.
And I block them.
Once in a while, you'll hit her square in the face, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was a day I was blocking them pretty good.
You were blocking them pretty good. I also have fond memories. It's not a tradition, but I have a strong memory of my grandmother taking forever to unwrap presents because she wanted to save the paper.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
She wanted to save it. She grew up in the Depression, even though her family lived on a farm and they were fine.
I feel that way about tissue paper.
You save tissue paper?
Yes.
Why?
Because then I don't have to buy more.
It's not expensive.
Just reuse it.
So
something doesn't have to be expensive to reuse it.
But see, I'm less offended by that because you just take it out and move it.
Yeah.
In this case, Grandma would take the present, and it was her turn. We're all waiting. We're little kids, and she's just trying to have the Scotch tape slowly release.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, Grandma, come on. And my mom, you can buy more paper. Mom, it's very nice. I like the paper. And she'd try to save it. She also washed tin foil and reused that.
My grandma washed plastic bags.
Plastic bags, yes.
My mom did.
My grandma used...
I could get down with washing plastic bags. Not tinfoil, but I could get down with plastic bags.
Well,
sure.
Because you're crunchy adjacent.
Yes, exactly.
Now, my grandmother would also use twist ties. Is that what you call them?
That's what I would call them, yeah.
Until they are just a rusty piece of metal.
Yeah, it's just like the metal, all the little paper bit has come off.
Yeah, but rusty. Very specifically, rusty piece of metal.
You could get tetanus.
What are you going to do? So, any other traditions pop in here?
No, we didn't get any more, but Gigi did text in.
Gigi texted?
Gigi texted.
Oh, she loves a good Christmas tradition.
Yes, she did say that the Christmas stocking scavenger hunt, it started because we were always traveling for Christmas to see family because we lived in different states from our grandparents and cousins. And stockings was all we were going to get from my parents on actual Christmas Day, so she wanted to make it a little bit more exciting.
Is she trying to make excuses for the work she put into this?
Yeah, usually.
Why?
I don't know.
Gigi, we do not think that you're over the top on this.
No, it's perfect.
You're over the top for Christmas.
Who doesn't love a scavenger hunt?
And it's precious that you're over the top for Christmas. Because I think it's also a little out of character for your mom. She's not known for being over the top, right?
No.
And so just the fact that she's over the top at Christmas time
is
adorable.
Yes, it's the best.
Is she happy that we're calling her adorable, do you think?
I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, strong, powerful woman with an adorable softness at Christmas time.
Yes. That's how my dad would describe it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, we FaceTimed yesterday. She has 3 trees upstairs and 1 outside. And I hear that there's 1 downstairs.
Okay. Yeah, Sarah, God bless her.
2 trees only so far?
2 trees.
Or is it 3?
And 2 trees. And well, I mean, if you count the ceramic trees, I think we might have 27. Literally.
No, don't count those. Those are just little decorations. That doesn't count.
Oh, and she loves those.
That doesn't count towards her Christmas tree count.
The Christmas tree count is 2 then. But she loves a good Christmas shopping. I don't do any Christmas shopping. She's not mad about it because I do things like put driveway markers on the driveway and plow. I do those Christmas activities. Yesterday,
driveway markers?
Yeah, so you know where the driveway is so you don't plow your grass.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday, I spent a good hour out there trying to hammer those things into I can't ever find the edge of the pavement and the gravel spreads out over the years. It's really hard to do. But she was always showing me, oh, look at this on Amazon. It's perfect for your dad. I'm like, yeah, it is. I've never disagreed with one of her ideas for presents. Why would I? Ron?
Yeah. If Dana even bothers to show me anymore, I agree. Yeah, go. Do it.
I like that. There's all these TikTok things right now and Facebook things about dads being surprised about the presents.
Yeah, my dad was always surprised. Or
I am proudly surprised by them.
Or me and my sisters would be like, oh, thanks, Mom. And she'd be like, and your dad. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I'm like, all right, thanks, Dad.
That's great. A lot of families do that, I think. A lot of them do that. So
that's funny.
Any other traditions to throw in there before we run?
Our family has an old country yuca soup. It's a sauerkraut with mushrooms, and over the years, we added tomato paste and sweet sausage. The story of Luke and Jesus' birth is read, and since my dad was a pastor, we had honey wafers and wine. This reminds us of the sourness of sin and the sweetness of God in our lives.
Oh, that's a wonderful tradition.
With my in-laws, they come for Christmas Eve dinner, and before we eat dinner, we go around the table, and from index cards, we say the 12 days of Christmas. Each of us has a specific part that we sing. Oh, it's nice.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah.
Our friend Janelle.
How long would that take, though? Like, that's a cute tradition, but that would take, that's a long song.
It is a long song.
Lots of birds.
Many birds.
And actually, Ron, have you seen it yet? Every year, somebody adds up the modern day cost of the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Keep an eye out.
Should be coming.
It's one of my favorite annual things for us to talk about. Lords of Leaping, really, it's been inflated recently. I can't imagine what it's like this year.
What, like Irish dancers?
How many Lords of Leaping?
They have it out already. Do you want to know the number?
No, not yet. I want to make a big to-do about
right.
it. I want to make a big thing about it. We really analyzed this. Wasn't there an Office episode where Andy got the 12 Days of Christmas?
Yes, for Aaron.
Yes.
And the birds were hurting her. And
yeah. She's like, Andy, please stop.
Whoever's
Stop
doing
with the birds.
this, stop it. Yeah, I forget where I was going. I was going to say something about Christmas, but nonetheless, Merry Christmas, one and all, and to all a good night. It's 7:32. We've got more coming up.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. I'm Mike Whitmer, and I entitled today's reading, Room for Jesus. I loved my weekend in New Orleans, happening upon a parade in the French Quarter, visiting the National World War II Museum, and trying grilled oysters. But as I fell asleep in my friend's spare room, I missed my wife and kids. I enjoy opportunities to preach in other cities, but I most enjoy being home. One aspect of Jesus' life that is sometimes overlooked is how many of his most important events happened on the road. The Son of God entered our world in Bethlehem, an incalculable distance from his heavenly home and far from his family's hometown of Nazareth. Bethlehem was overflowing with extended family in town for the census, so Luke says there wasn't even a spare kataluma, or guest room, available. What was missing at Jesus' birth did show up at his death. As Jesus led his disciples into Jerusalem, he told Peter and John to prepare for their Passover meal. They should follow a pitcher-carrying man to his home and ask the owner for the kataluma, the guest room, where Christ and his disciples could eat the Last Supper. There, in borrowed space, Jesus instituted what is now called communion, which foreshadowed his looming crucifixion. We love home, but if we travel with the Spirit of Jesus, even a guest room can be a place of communion with him. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. Inflation is hitting everyone hard right now, especially when it comes to healthcare. Over the last 10 years, healthcare costs have skyrocketed by, get this, 230%. If you have Medicare Parts A and B, you know there are still out-of-pocket expenses like deductibles and copayments, and they really add up. But here's some good news. MediShare 65 Plus is designed to fill in those gaps and help protect you from rising healthcare costs. At only $99 per month up to age 75, you get peace of mind at a price you can afford. And MediShare is trusted, too. It's been around 30 years. It's not some big impersonal thing. It's a community of people helping each other, business owners, pastors, retirees. People love it. MediShare 65 Plus just makes sense. To learn more, give them a call. They're great to talk to. They'll offer to pray with you each time you call, too. Call now. 833-59-SHARE. That's 833-59-SHARE. 833-59-SHARE.
Helping you take the next step in your walk with Jesus. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio, Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio, Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Merry Christmas, 738. There's an article called Angels We Ignore on High. Angels
really like the title.
We Ignore
That's
on
why
High.
I picked it. I really liked the title.
It's a great title. It's a great piece. We'll talk about angels here in just a minute. But someone reminded me, thank you, that I was going to share one of Janelle's family traditions. Her husband, Len, is one of my favorite people. He's just a riot. Every year, he goes to each kid and he finds one of their current toys or possessions.
Yes.
No way.
Wraps it up, puts it under the tree,
Yeah.
and belly laughs.
I love that.
Every year. Like, they figure it out after a couple of years. And they're like, oh, look, it's my toy.
That I've been looking for weeks.
Yeah, and he's just like,
I love that.
yeah.
That's funny.
And he also reads Luke 2 real slow Christmas morning.
Before they can like open presents or something?
Yeah, they're sitting there looking at the presents.
Yeah, I love that.
It's so great. It makes me laugh so much. I've thought about doing the wrap up their own thing, but I just don't want to take that from him. It's too beautiful. Too beautiful. Okay, angels we ignore on high. So you guys think about angels very often?
When I read the Frank Peretti novels, I thought a lot about angels for a while.
This Present Darkness? Is that
Right.
what that is? Yeah. My mom tried to get me to read that as a kid, and I read a little bit of it. I think I was just the wrong age to connect to it. But that really impacted you when you read it, right?
Yeah. This Present Darkness, Piercing the Darkness, and I think there was a third.
Something the Darkness.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Pouncing on the Darkness. So do you did then? Do you think about angels a lot now?
Not really. Occasionally I'll hear Amy Grant sing Angels and think, oh, wow.
She had a big hit about angels. What was it again?
It was called Angels.
Well, right, but that doesn't help me.
God has angels watching over me.
Oh, yeah, the angels
every
watching
step
over
I take.
me. Yeah, oh, yeah, my mom would play that one like crazy on her tape deck. Oof. Okay, you guys, what about you guys? You guys thinking about angels a lot?
No, not really.
Not really.
Yeah, me neither. I believe they exist.
Right.
Yes.
But as this guy who wrote the article says, until recently, I basically ignored angels. Never rationally came to a place of disbelief in angels. I never examined the evidence for them and found it lacking. To me, angels just seemed a little bit cheesy. Like a little weird.
What, because you think of like Alabaster Song with the little kid with the tooth or whatever? You guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
No. Is that a verse in Christmas Shoes? One of the worst Christmas songs of all time? My mom's about to die. Let me buy some shoes. I'm too poor. Merry Christmas.
It's a Max Lucado book.
What's it called?
Alabaster Song. And it's a little angel and he doesn't have a tooth.
And Max Lucado's a pastor. Because his depiction of angels on the cover of that is...
It's a little kid.
It's not great. Now, there's lots of depictions of angels, and really none of them are good.
Yes. Not quite right.
In pop culture, paintings.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite's the little naked chubby ones.
Little cherubs.
Cherubs, yeah.
Yeah, little chubby ones. I don't know what they're doing, but they're chubby.
Why is that
they
your
like
favorite?
to eat.
Just because they're cute?
Yeah, but the author of the article is kind of like, it's a little on the spiritual, like it's with Jesus, you're like, yeah, he was a guy, he walked around. I believe he rose from the dead. I believe he's divine, all those things. But there's something about these creatures that none of us have ever seen that are described in Scripture that he says I think people are uncomfortable with.
Well, some people have seen them.
Well, right. I know that.
You said none of us.
Have you seen one?
No, but I'm just
Daria?
saying.
I know.
We're talking about more
Ron?
than four of us.
I know people that think they have.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Jesus said that you could be entertaining angels unaware.
Mm-hmm.
And we have stories in Scripture about, of course, people who were spending time with angels and didn't know it.
Yeah.
Others who were well aware that angels appeared to them and it horrified them because of how powerful they were and such. And then there's the pictures on the internet that go around about the one in Revelation. And I get scared
it's like,
every time I see
400 wings and like 65,000 eyes.
it. And they're all looking at you.
And like blinking. Yeah.
And so...
it has whatever it's, the ones... Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how should I mean? Is it bad that we're not thinking about angels much? Do you think?
I don't think so, because we're not. I mean, they exist, but they exist to serve God just as we do.
Mm-hmm. So The guy who said he ignored until recently angels, he says this: a few years ago, I heard an interview with British theologian John Milbank where he said, I believe in all this fantastic stuff. I'm really bitterly opposed to disenchantment in the modern churches, including, I think, amongst most modern evangelicals. He told a story about the Nottingham Diocese of England, you know, where Robin Hood is a member.
Yeah, and the sheriff of Nottingham.
Daria didn't like that one, which he described as a very evangelical diocese. He said that they received a request to participate in a radio show about angels. They surveyed the clergy asking, is there anyone around who still believes in angels enough to talk about this? He chastised the diocese, saying, now, in my view, this is scandalous. They shouldn't even be ordained if they can't give a cogent account of the angelic and its place in the divine economy. He called for re-enchantment of the church, that we should believe, confess, embrace, and admit all the scriptures and much of the tradition, even the weird stuff. Because there is, I mean, admittedly...
There are eyes. Things that seem weird.
Yeah, some of the descriptions of angels is a little weird. When you look at Isaiah, I've got it right here. Isaiah 6:2. Above him stood a seraphim. Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. It's a little weird. And that Revelation one's really weird too. But this theologian was like, he thinks it's scandalous if you can't give a cogent account of the angelic and its place in the divine economy. Who would like to go first in giving a cogent account of the angelic and its place in the divine economy? Go ahead. Daria?
I don't know what cogent means, but...
Like, give a very confident, clear, the angelic and the divine economy. Was that a class you took at Moody, Lauren?
Well, I took a theology class and we had a section on angelology.
Ooh.
Which is the study of
I don't
angels.
really like that. It seems like someone didn't try hard on that
Yeah,
term.
maybe there could be like a better one. I don't know,
I mean, you hear like hermeneutics and things like
Yeah.
that. Like angels, let's
hermeneutics,
call it
homiletics, angelology, demonology. Yeah.
But I would venture to guess there's a lot of Christians who, if you ask them, tell me about angels, they'd be like, oh yeah, they announce things, they sing. Do we know?
Sing?
I don't know.
I think the only time we see them sing is in the Christmas story.
Well, yeah. So they sing, okay,
They sing the one time.
but they can sing.
They can sing.
So are you feeling more problematic here that we can't necessarily, as Christians, like I think he's right in evangelicalism, not many people are chatting about angels or thinking about or caring about.
Yeah, I think in like medieval times and biblical times, we see in scripture people are preoccupied with like angel worship, or they thought too much about angels, and we're specifically told not to do that. Don't like be caught up with worship of angels or thinking that they're there with you or anything like that. And so I think in like the Reformation, people like swung really far to the other side.
Yes.
And then don't even think about it at all.
Yeah, in fact, the writer said, my ambivalence about angels was not due to reason. It was failure of my imagination. Like to dare to believe some of the more little weird, creepy descriptions of angels in Scripture. But they're everywhere. I mean, at first blush, you might go, everywhere, Brian. No, they're all over the place in Scripture. Is that a fair description, Lauren?
They're all over the place, but they're not omnipresent.
Right, and I'm not describing their reality. I'm saying like they're described in Scripture on a regular basis.
Yes, that's correct.
Playing an active role in what God is doing in the world. And yeah, I think I'm kind of like this guy where I'm like, whoa, angels, that's kind of, okay. Anyway, back to Jesus. I don't know if I should be doing that.
I don't know that there's anything wrong with that. You need to have an understanding of everything in Scripture, but that doesn't mean you necessarily need to have a preoccupation with everything in Scripture. One, because it's a vast work, but also because angels are not the focus. Like multiple people try to bow down to angels and they say, no, don't do that.
Do you think this is, as the writer is saying, though, indicative of our lack of imagination in evangelicalism, a lack of wonder and imagination? We're very intellectual in American evangelicalism.
Yeah.
We want church to be kind of like a college class.
Yeah, and I think it's our lack of I think it's more of maybe a fear of being too like spiritual.
Yes.
But I think it's more of a fear, not maybe lack of wonder, but a fear of stepping too far into the spiritual.
Yeah, I mean, for me, until relatively recently, the idea of just sitting outside and soaking in the creation and kind of going like, wow, God, look what you did, was not something I was thinking about.
Yeah.
My relationship with God was almost purely intellectual for much of my life. And I think that's part of the modern evangelical tradition, is think about God, think about God, think about God, learn about God, learn about God. And I think he's saying, like, we need a little more imagination. And I think he's kind of right in that sense. And one of the more imaginative things in Scripture, at least in a human sense to me, is how different angels are. It's an entire category of creation.
Different than us. Like
Different than us.
Yeah.
And different than something we experience on a daily basis.
I have my systematic theology notebook all on angelology if you want me to go through and just do a quick description after the break.
I think we should do that.
Moody Radio is thankful for listeners and support from businesses like Duma Meats and Farm Market. Duma Meats and Farm Market, supporting Moody Radio in Cleveland and surrounding areas. More information about Duma Meats and Farm Market is at dumameats.com.
Ever wondered if there's a way for Christians to meet their healthcare costs affordably and efficiently? A biblical lifestyle alternative to traditional healthcare options? The answer is Christian Healthcare Ministries. They've enabled believers to live out their faith while embracing a voluntary health cost ministry for over 40 years. It all starts with a visit to chministries.org/Moody to see how CHM meets values and healthcare costs. Get more information and have your questions answered at chministries.org/Moody.
Did you know that India is home to more than 280 million people who can't read? This means they're not able to read the Bible, and most have never even heard of Jesus. With our solar-powered audio Bible, they don't have to read. Instead, they can hear God's Word play aloud in their heart language. Help India hear about Jesus. Join us by visiting talkingbibles.org/India. That's talkingbibles.org/India.
May God bless and keep you during the holiday and throughout the year. Merry Christmas from your friends at Mornings with Brian and Moody Radio, Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio, Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
That's Life Church Worship. I think it's also our friend Brian the Vet, his favorite Christmas song, perhaps.
Maybe he'll play it for all the animals today.
Maybe he will.
I comfort them. They need it today.
It's This Morning's with Brian, WCRF. Get your questions in for Dave Szfranski. He'll answer them from 8 to 9, 440-546-2255. We'll try not to have the entire radio station fall apart this week. There's a great video to watch of what happened last week if you want to know what happened.
It was like a pylon. Everything that could go wrong went wrong.
It's cascading failures all across the world.
Yeah.
And it made for a great video. So it's on social media, both YouTube and Facebook.
YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
And Instagram.
And then Brian tried to be mean to me that I didn't know how to do something.
I did not try to be mean to you.
Yesterday via text, yes, you did.
There was no meanness there. No. See, texts do not carry emotion, and I fixed it later.
Yeah, fixed it. Fixed it.
Go ahead, explain it before we get to the Angels thing. Go ahead.
I don't remember. Oh, I was sending a text that someone said about it, like laughing about it. And then I said, just the fact that I am the only person here that wouldn't know how to do that. We had 3 people gone from the studios, 3 staff members who could have helped. And I was the only one here.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one who doesn't know how to do it.
And I said, I think you are the only one who doesn't know how to do it. Laughing emoji.
But I had already said it myself. And so I was like, are you trying to say that I'm the only person in the universe that doesn't know how to do that?
Nope, I was laughing with you.
Oh,
laughing with you.
The funny part is Lauren's like, I'm going to get up and go try.
I'll try.
Give it a try. Yeah. Brian, who knew how to do it, sat on his butt until he watched
thank you so much, Daria, for acknowledging that. Because once I was here, I could have said something and like kept talking while you go do it.
There's this thing about radio where you have to talk on it.
I know how to talk.
When there's no music.
There was still a good 20 seconds where nothing was happening because you were playing musical chairs in here. You have to watch the video if you have.
And then all you said was, "It's on the right. It's on the right. It's on." You didn't give me like any other, but you knew exactly where it was.
I didn't know exactly where it was. I knew generally where it was, which is on the right. Ron,
But true.
You don't even know where your bell is. Look at that.
It was on the right.
Yeah, Beyonce would have been all wrong over here. She would have been saying on the left, and nope, it's on the right.
Again,
on the right.
Last week we had a total breakdown of the show.
It's just total.
And it's worth watching. It's a rare occasion, and we've got the whole thing. Daria made a wonderful video of it.
Our other Moody Radio hosts in other states are really loving it. They feel maybe vindicated or relief that it wasn't them.
One of our friends said, I needed to see this today. And then she said, this is like every host's worst fear. She has dreams about it.
Yeah, like being all alone in a microphone in a room and you have no control over anything but just the fact that it's silence unless you talk. And I reminded of my other radio nightmare.
What is it?
Like everyone has their own working nightmare.
But showing up late?
No. I mean, that I'm scared of that.
Yeah,
but I have this fear that I'll show up, let's just say tomorrow, and I'll have nothing to say. Like I'll have to go.
That will never happen to you.
I know, but it's this fear. It'll be like, all right, good morning. I've said all of it.
Every word in the English language. I have officially said it. I am now resigning.
Another 10 minutes.
Did you tell Ron?
I have nothing.
What Eric from Florida said? He said, what's the phone number again?
He gave the phone number. My mom, she's like, how many times did he give
7.
it? I think it was 7.
I counted.
The phones were not working, and he kept giving the phone number.
Now, in my defense,
7.
Right. If I have to speak and think at the same time, which I can't even hardly walk and open my eyes at the same time.
Maybe you do need the robotic shorts.
I have to have some sort of thing I don't have to think about.
Right.
So that my brain power can be set to thinking. So the phone number is memorized. So what I do is I shove into the mouth part of my brain.
The mouth part of your brain.
I shove the phone number and I just start repeating the phone number to relieve the rest of my brain to think about what's happening. So I'm thinking about Ron's gone, Lauren's gone, Daria's gone. I'm all alone and I'm very far away from any of the controls and I can't talk to Dave. 440-546-2255. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do here. 440-546-2255. I've just told everyone that Dave's here and they're going to answer the questions. I don't even have the mouse to control seeing what questions we have for Dave. I'd have to get up from my chair. 440-546-2255. You see, this is what's happening in my mind. It all worked out. It's worth watching the video.
It's on Facebook and YouTube.
We have almost no time to tell you about angels, but Lauren...
I can do a quick, it's bullet points.
Yeah, because we were talking about, I think this guy's right that in evangelicalism, we've lost our imagination in some way. We can't be ambivalent about angels. They're God's creations and they're amazing.
Yes. Aside from humans, angels are the only personal beings that God has made. Scripture tells us several important things about angels, such as angels are created beings. In no sense or degree are they possessed of deity. When were they created? And he gives us a couple of clues, Genesis, Exodus, Job. They were created by Christ, through Christ, and for Christ. You can find that in Colossians. They were created in order to trust, worship, and serve God. Angels are spirit beings, or perhaps personal spirits. They are glorious in appearance. They are neither embodied nor ordinarily visible, though they are able to show themselves to humans in what appears to be a physical form. Angels are intelligent beings, but not omniscient. They are powerful beings, but not omnipotent. Angels do not marry, nor are they subject to death. They are intelligent, moral agents capable of reciprocal relationship, like hearing God and obeying God. But unlike humans, they do not bear his image. Like humans, angels are capable of sinning, obviously. We know that from the fall, and from the beginning of the fall. But unlike fallen humans, fallen angels are not the beneficiaries of God's redemptive activity in Christ. Like humans, angels were created to trust, worship, and serve God, which often takes the form as ministering to humans. The word angel actually means messenger, and so they communicate with humans on God's behalf, they carry out God's judgment, and they patrol the earth on God's behalf. Angels battle demonic opposition. Angels constantly observe what goes on in the church. Angelic activity in Scripture is prominent at the great turning point in God's redemptive activity, such as in Exodus, in the giving of the law, and the birth and resurrection and ascension of Christ.
See, to me, that it should make your head explode, because that's so contrary to the human experience, and yet made by God, and amazing.
But
hard to wrap your head around.
You know what's like more amazing to me is that humans are they are the pinnacle of creation, not angels.
Right.
We are the ones made in the image of God, not angels. Even though you feel like angels are these vast, amazing, wonderful, majestic, created beings, humans are more perfect, more, made in the image of God. They are the pinnacle of creation.
Even though physically angels are superior to us, they don't die.
Yes.
We are subject to death.
Yes.
Mind blown. So cool. Thanks, Lauren.
Sure.
All right, it's 8:01. It's time for Ron's News, today's Moron Moment, and then Dave Szfranski to answer your financial questions. 440-546-2255.
Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland, WCRF Cleveland, WVMS Sandusky, WVML Millersburg, WVMN Newcastle, WVME Meadville, WVMU Ashtabula, and everywhere with the Moody Radio app or at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
FBI Director Christopher Wray is resigning. It's 8:02. I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. Wray was under increasing pressure from Republicans to quit now rather than force President-elect Trump to replace him with former Justice Department Prosecutor Kash Patel. Ohio's minimum wage is set to increase in January. The minimum wage will rise from $10.45 to $10.70 for non-tipped employees, and from $5.25 to $5.35 for tipped employees. In 2006, voters approved a constitutional amendment which allows for the state's minimum wage to be increased each year by the rate of inflation. And the Beaver County, Pennsylvania Humane Society is providing care for 9 young pit bulls, recently found abandoned in New Sewickley Township. The dogs, ranging in age from 6 months to 2 years old, were reportedly in an emaciated state when they were found, and their condition remains described as dire. Sports and weather coming right up.
As we approach the holiday season, many families are grieving the loss of loved ones, broken relationships, or feeling alone due to difficult circumstances. I'll talk with Pastor John Onwuchikwa about how we can trust God amidst life's hardships and draw strength for our faith during the holiday season.
Listen to Living by Faith with Trillian Newbell this Saturday at 9 a.m. on Moody Radio.
In sports, Shane Bieber formally signed a 1-year deal with Cleveland, And the Guardians ace missed most of last year after having Tommy John surgery in April, and his recovery is expected to last into this season, but hopefully we'll see him sometime later on. In other club news, radio broadcaster Tom Hamilton was named the 2025 Ford C. Frick Award winner yesterday. Here's your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. First, the warnings for Ashtabula County in Ohio and Erie County in Pennsylvania. A lake effect snow warning in effect until 7 a.m. Friday morning. For Lake and Geauga counties in Ohio and Crawford County in Pennsylvania, a winter weather advisory is in effect until 7 a.m. Friday. Now for today, for most of us, partly cloudy skies with just a slight chance of snow showers in the morning. Cooler, though, with high temperatures around 20 degrees. At last check, light snow 15 degrees in Cleveland. The same in Akron and Canton, light snow 15 degrees. And in Youngstown, flurries and 19 degrees.
It's time for your moron moment.
Need a headshot, but it's not really worth hiring a professional photographer? Well, skip the cropped group photo or obvious selfie. For professional-looking photos, go with a slight smile instead of your biggest grin, and blur the background so the person viewing your profile can focus on your face. If your phone has portrait mode, use that. And that's your Moron Moment. And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 8:06 with Moody Radio News. I'm Ron East.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
expressed during this program represent the opinions of the participants and is given for informational purposes only. Any information provided is not intended to replace professional advice for your specific situation.
It's that time of the week. David Szfranski, president and founder of Edgewater Investment Group, here to answer your financial questions on Mornings with Brian.
Wow, that was a lot.
That's the most words I've gotten in that.
You think so?
I think so.
Fastest you've ever said it?
I should get a certificate.
Usually you don't let them talk that much. So
No.
I'm kinda
Are you going to get him a
surprised.
certificate for that, Dave?
And a chest to pin it on. That's what he really needs.
Oh, that was really good. Did you come up with that yourself?
Well, no, I got it from a drill sergeant way back in the day. Yes.
No.
You want a medal for that or a chest to pin it on, boy?
That's great.
They said
Either
it to
one,
you?
drill sergeant. Oh yeah.
Oh.
I can't say some of the things that they said to me.
I'd cry.
That's a great line. Ron, write that down.
Oh, I've heard that a long time.
Where have I been? Lauren doesn't know.
Where have you been? That's the question.
Yeah.
There's some questions that are hard to answer, and then there's that one. You know, and Lauren, you
Yes.
are already looking at me sternly because what's our problem right now?
We don't have any questions. We have one, but we need more.
For Dave Szfranski, president
Yes.
and founder of Edgewater
We know you
Investment
got
Group.
financial questions.
Yeah,
Who
it's-
doesn't?
It's the end of the year, so there's a lot of things that are
Good
end of the year
point.
issues.
Issues.
For instance, should I take a loss now on a stock, a taxable loss?
Oh.
You know, what you could do is you could write off losses and gains against each other. So let's say that you have a stock, let's call it Boeing.
Okay.
Okay.
Doesn't, whatever.
which is the world's greatest bad stock. Should you take a loss now, and if you hold that loss, so you sell it now, you wait 31 days and you buy it back, you can keep that loss on your taxes for 2024. So you could offset some gains with that loss.
Oh, interesting.
I like the stock in this sense. I like it because there are really only two major airplane manufacturers in the world. There's smaller, like the CRJ people and the
Obviously.
ERJ and those planes. And to be honest, they suck. I hate when I see that I'm flying on one of those planes. I think I'm just going to miss this flight and catch the next one.
Okay, but Boeing's not that great either.
Well,
I got a little nervous.
They are not that great right now. Their doors
they're
fly
having-
off their planes.
Yeah, they're
That's-
having a hard time.
When you're in midair and a door flies
Yeah,
off, we have
exactly.
a problem.
That's exactly right.
Okay, and there were, of course, when they did the 737 MAX upgrade, there were catastrophic
Yeah.
things that happened that are just catastrophic to human life, and those are horrible, and they're responsible for it. So, but there are only two. There's Boeing and Airbus. That's it. And these are the guys that make the 2-aisle, wide-body, long-haul planes, and they have problems. So, should you take the loss now and buy it? So that's just one of the issues that. The other things that I think about are, okay, it's the end of the year. You're a small business. You have a simplified employee pension plan. Should you make a contribution? Are you maxing out your IRA contributions? Is there a planned giving strategy that you could be executing? Qualified charitable distributions. If you have a required minimum distribution from your IRA, so you're 73 or older, 70 and a half under some old rules, but if you haven't taken out that required minimum distribution, you could be fined 50% of what you should have taken out.
Goodness.
So to be on the ball with these things is important. I've never seen anybody get fined unless you were kind of a serial abuser. My youngest kid, we used to call him a serial sock abuser because he would walk outside with his socks on all the time.
What is that about?
Could you just
I have
put on
kids that do
shoes or
that.
take your socks off? What are you doing? Why do you hate me?
I'm glad it's not just my kids.
Why do you hate your socks?
And who wants to walk around with socks on outside? Ugh.
Why are people stupid? I asked this all you got to do is sit in an airport for 5 minutes and say, there's a serious intellect problem amongst like 75% of humankind. What are they doing? Look at that person over there. What are you doing? I want to, it's none of my business. There's two types of business, my business and none of my business.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And most of it is none of my business.
Yeah.
It's
Like
been
whatever
a-
the back of my hair looks like is none of my business.
Because I can't see it.
Yeah. And stop trying to correct me on it because I don't really care.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
I don't, if
I
I,
don't care.
can't
I can't see it.
I don't care.
That is absolutely none of
Is
my
that
business.
truly your personal philosophy?
Yeah, whatever the back of my hair looks like is none of my business.
So if somebody brings it up, you're like, excuse me, I don't want to hear about that.
No, I say, well, that's not my business.
That's a great response.
Oh, I sat in bird poop? I don't care.
Can't see
I
it.
can't see it. But apparently it's disturbing you. So clean off my butt.
All right, 8:15, time for a quick break. 440-546-2255. What are your financial questions for David Szfranski, president and founder of Edgewater Investment Group?
If you are 65 or older, you know this. Inflation is hitting everyone hard right now, especially when it comes to healthcare. Over the last 10 years, healthcare costs have skyrocketed by, get this, 230%. If you have Medicare Parts A and B, you know there are still out-of-pocket expenses like deductibles and copayments, and they really add up. But here's some good news. MediShare 65 Plus is designed to fill in those gaps and help protect you from rising healthcare costs. At only $99 per month up to age 75, you get peace of mind at a price you can afford. And MediShare is trusted, too. It's been around 30 years. It's not some big impersonal.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
President and founder of Edgewater Investment Group, answering your financial questions. Looky here, we got a call. I love it. We've got Jeff on the line. Hey, Jeff, what's your question for David Szfranski?
Hi, guys. Just want to let you know I listen to you every morning on my way to work and love the show.
Oh, thanks,
Love it.
Jeff.
It's a great way to start my day. Sure. And Dave, it's a little bit of a lengthy question, and I hope I can phrase it right. We just recently sold some property, and we had quite a bit of money, and we wanted to donate and tithe on that and to help with a little bit of the taxes in 2024. Is there an amount that you can tithe to your church, a maximum, that you can write off on your taxes?
Well, there are, as your income goes up, you do get phased out. I don't know exactly what the phase outs are. But I had this question last week, Brian. Somebody called and they had a business and they said, how do I keep from allowing money to be my focus? Essentially, that was the question. And
good question.
It is a good question because that is what we focus on. And there's bumper stickers that say, he who has the most toys wins and things like that. And so it's very easy to get caught up in these things. Or when you sell something and you see this, you get Scrooge McDuckish. Like, I want to pile this money up and swim in it.
Yeah, which would be fun, kind of, I think.
Well,
not to pile it up, but just to swim in money.
Just swim in money, yeah. Money's very dirty, so you probably want to wear a hermetically sealed suit and things like that.
I've got plenty of hand sanitizer.
Not enough for money, trust me.
But now, Dave, the idea I've heard of, there's a threshold at which you can begin itemizing your deductions because you've given more than the standard deduction.
Yeah.
But is there a maximum?
There is. You get phased out as incomes go up. So your deductions get phased out as you get to $1 million and things like that. But my point is, I don't want to think about those numbers. Okay, you could, if you had a big real estate sale and you're gonna realize a gain, I think it's important to sit down with a tax advisor, a CPA, and kind of talk through what my strategies are. How do I receive this money? And
because that's taxable, obviously. Real estate sales?
Well, real estate sales are taxable in different ways because if it's your primary residence, you can escape if you're married. And it's your primary residence, you've lived in it for 2 out of the last 5 years, you can escape $200,000 or $500,000 of capital gain on that real estate.
But if it's not your primary residence?
If it's not your primary residence, it's taxed as an investment. And based on how long you own that property, whether it's a long-term or short-term capital gain, your tax could be as low as 10%. So my point being, when you go to give to your church, it's important to think about taxes and how this is all going to line up financially, but I want you to give not based on your tax rate. I want you to give based on your heart, and that's how we're called to think about money. That's how we keep it from being our master. Is we don't give just about taxes. It's in fact, when the tax code got rewritten in the Trump tax cuts of 2017 rather. We changed the standard deduction. We raised it dramatically higher. Charitable giving dropped off fairly substantially because people didn't have to give to get a deduction. I don't want to think that way. I want to give because God told me to give. In the book of Malachi, my father-in-law calls it Malachi, the only Italian prophet.
But Lauren's not laughing, but I thought it was great.
In Malachi.
I wasn't listening. I was reading text.
Calls it Malachi, the only Italian prophet.
Oh, gosh.
In Malachi.
You got an eye roll and a grin. That's the best you're going to get.
He says, Malachi says, Malachi was a prophet. And he said, and God told him, if you had just trusted me, if you had given, I would have opened up the floodgates for you. I would have blessed you beyond all measure is what God is saying. And what I'm saying is read Malachi. When you think about giving, read Malachi. Give. If you get a tax break, that's great. If you don't, that's even better. Just give. But in this case, sit down with your CPA and find out where your phase outs are. Find out how that is even going to get taxed. If it's a rental property, that gets, and you've depreciated it, you have depreciation recapture. There's a lot of things that are going on here. So, figure out what you're going to owe and then give anyway. Bless somebody anyway, no matter what your tax burden is.
I phase out all the time when you're going in the weeds of finances on the show.
I think you pass out. I think there's a difference.
Zone out?
Yes,
All right.
Zone out, pass
Something
out,
out.
phase out.
Would it be wise financially to make a $10,000 home repair out of a 401k or go to a 0% financing lender for 18 months to 2 years? If you eventually pay taxes on a 401k anyway, would it be better to use it now for home major repair?
Well, you could take a loan out of your 401k. They are loanable. And when you do that, they actually, most 401ks don't take the money out of your 401k. It stays invested. And so you could loan yourself the money, pay it back on a schedule. I happen to like investing in homes right now because I think we have underbuilt housing for a variety of reasons, going back all the way to 2008. If you remember 2008, Brian, it was kind of a bad economy.
I do remember that time. Yeah.
I remember it too.
I remember it very well.
I stopped reading the Wall Street Journal because I thought, I just can't take any more bad news. I have to find a way to make money in this. I can't read why we're all going broke again. And so a lot of the big home builders went out of business. They stopped taking chances on big tracts of land. Consequently, there is a legitimate undersupply of housing. And then you throw in the pandemic where you couldn't go to work for 2 years in some places. I like investing in housing right now. I think it's a good idea. I think it's going to be a good idea for the next 10 years to invest in your primary residence. I would probably take a loan out of my 401k, pay it back on the schedule. It's not taxable to you when you do that. If you're under 59 and a half and you take money out of your 401k, there's a penalty if you just withdraw it. So don't just withdraw it, just take a loan and then pay it back over the schedule. And I think that's a good idea. Yes, invest in your home.
Is Bitcoin a good idea to invest in?
Oh my gosh.
Would have been a few years ago. This would have been, his head would have exploded. You're not as rage-filled about.
No, I'm not actually.
About cryptocurrency.
I still don't know what it is. I still don't know what you buy, but I know people are making money at it. Now, I work with a couple of people that were younger, and at Bitcoin at $310, they said, you should look at this. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just a kid. In my defense, at that time,
wow,
there was no Coinbase. There was no legitimate exchange where you could go to and buy Bitcoin and not think it was going to get stolen. And so there was no legitimacy to it at the time. I do think it's legitimizing itself for a variety of reasons. Would I buy it now? I think we've got this. There is a very palpable Trump bump going on right now in the market he's appointing people, or he's going to appoint people to positions of power that are crypto bulls. They're crypto enthusiasts. And so crypto is catching a bid right now. I might wait until there's a little bit of a pullback or dip my toe in ever so slightly and then be ready to go heavier into it. But I think it's becoming more legitimized. I think there still is no use case basis for it. So if I go to the grocery store and I say, hey, can I pay for this in Bitcoin? Be like, no? How about that? How about no? Can I buy an airline ticket with it? No. Can I buy a car with it? No. I have to exchange it to dollars. So there's still there's no direct use case for it, but we're going to get there. And so I'm going to, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do this. I have added crypto to our portfolios.
But it's a small percentage, I would imagine.
It's a very small percentage. I think you have to look at it as risk capital, money that you'd be willing to lose. I look at it like my gold allocation, my precious metal allocation, 3 to 5%. Yeah. People are making money on it. It's undeniable. It's different now than it was 5 years ago. So that's. I don't know how you're going to use it. I don't know if it's going to go up in value. I don't know what you're buying, but I'm interested.
Move around your gold, Lauren.
Okay, I will.
Okay, done.
And buy bullets.
Here we
That's
go.
always
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Brass.
that's my favorite precious
Zombie
metal because
apocalypse.
it fits into a 9mm.
Apocalypse, yeah.
8:31 on WCRF. More time for your financial questions for David Szfranski, president and founder of Edgewater Investment Group. 440-546-2255.
What's your favorite quote? It's a great question, as you'll discover next. If I could do it all over again, Christian leaders share the most important lessons of their lives. Colin Smith is a pastor and author who had no problem telling us his favorite quote.
Robert Murray McShane, my people's greatest need is my personal holiness. It's a marvelous quote. I often quote half of it. I say, now, if a pastor said, my people's greatest need is, what do my people most need? My preaching, my leadership, my vision, my presence? No. McShane said, my people's greatest need is my personal holiness. That's a life quote for me, and I really have valued it.
Author and conference speaker Dee Breston shared a favorite quote as well.
It's hard to beat C.S. Lewis. And I have often told people, that as Lewis said, he's not a great teacher. He didn't give us that option. He is either a liar, a lunatic, or the Son of God, and that's what we have to decide. I think that's a powerful quote, but there's many Lewis quotes, and I like Bonhoeffer, and I quote Tim Keller so much that they limit me when I'm on the radio to 2 Tim Keller quotes a broadcast.
And here's a final quote from Christian broadcasting legend Dr. Harold Sala.
There was the Baptist evangelist of a previous generation who said, any bulldog can whip a skunk, but sometimes it just ain't worth it. That's Vance Havner, who said things in a very, very unique way.
Plenty to think about, right? So, what quotes drive your thinking as a Christ follower? This has been a production of Moody Radio, a ministry of Moody Bible Institute, based on the book, If I Could Do It All Over Again.
Hope lives because a tiny baby born in a manger changed everything forever. Let's celebrate that hope this season with Moody Radio's Music of Christmas. And it's on now, streaming all of your Christmas favorites at musicofchristmas.org. Listen on your smartphone through the new Moody Radio app. Start celebrating today at musicofchristmas.org.
It's not insurance, and that's a new way of thinking for some families. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a credible way to meet family healthcare costs affordably, biblically, and effectively, whether starting or growing your family. Serving families as a nonprofit healthcare sharing ministry for over 40 years, CHM has offered families the freedom to choose how they would like to meet healthcare costs. Be pleasantly surprised and find answers to your questions at chministries.org/Moody. That's chministries.org/Moody.
May the spirit of Christmas be with you all year round. Merry Christmas from your friends at Moody Radio Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
8:37 now. That's the Katinas. And Mary, did you know? Did she know, Lauren?
She did.
A lot of that stuff she knew. But it's a beautiful song nonetheless. It's one of Ron's favorites. He also likes when little kids play drums in front of infants.
Yep.
He thinks they love it.
How do you think Mary felt about that? Could somebody shut the drum up already?
Yeah.
You think?
Ron?
You're going to wake up.
How did she feel? She smiled at him. Rumpa-pum-pum.
I love that song so much. That's Third Day, isn't it?
It's a lot of people, yeah. All right, 440-546-2255. Bunch of questions.
Is it possible to add my husband to my Betterment Roth IRA? We just got married in October.
Well, it's an individual retirement account, so only an individual's name can go on it. But you could, and I think he would like it if you added him as a beneficiary. In case you assume room temperature, he would inherit the money. He would get that money as a beneficiary. And in Ohio, generally, if it's not a spouse's beneficiary, the spouse has to sign off on that. So you're going to have to add him as a Benny, whether you like it or not.
A Benny.
Yeah.
I don't like that you said that. Benny. Is the RMD requirement waived for 2024?
You mean the required minimum distribution, Dave?
Yes. Oh, look at you.
Basically a financial advisor. Buy low, sell high, people.
Oh, my.
That is good advice. Most financial advisors don't do that.
I know.
They buy emotionally and sell emotionally.
Oh.
I would buy low and sell high. Anyway, Dave, is it waived for this year?
No. Nope.
Oh.
I wonder where this person got that idea.
Because during COVID, it was waived. And in 2008, it got waived because the accounts were down so much. People, the government in a stroke of genius, I don't know, it's rare for government to do things like that, have strokes of genius in general, no matter who's running the government. But they waived it because they didn't want people to have to sell their securities down. So it's not waived this year.
Look at us go.
Could you give a specific name of a long-term growth mutual fund for me to invest in for retirement? The fund I'm in now was doing well for many years, but has performed poorly for some time.
I don't think we give specific investing advice on the air, do we?
Well, it's not generally a good idea. Not because I don't want to. I do want to say, here are the things that you should buy, like Money Magazine would do. Here are the 5 things that you should buy. But it's so different for everybody.
And you make people fill out like a 500-page form.
Well, that's not true. But I do ask people to fill something out because in order to give financial advice to somebody, I have to know your financial situation. So I've had people come to me and say—
How many questions is it?
It's 498.
Is it really?
No.
Oh, okay. I believe
there's
you.
a few pages, but not everything applies to everybody on there. So, but I've had people come to me and they say, well, I have this $150,000 to invest. Okay. Now, if that's all I had, if that's the only information I had, I'd say, well, okay, I'm going to invest this $150,000. But as I drill down and we get a little bit more granular, I find out that they have $100,000 of credit card debt.
Yeah.
And I say, I cannot in good conscience take your money because I could guarantee you a 25% rate of return if you pay off your stupid credit card debt.
Yeah.
And somebody actually said, well, if you don't take my money, I'm going to go someplace else. I said, well, there's the door. Nobody made you walk in it, and I'm going to make you walk out of it because anybody who took your money would be guilty of malfeasance to invest. There are these financial pillars of pillars of financial planning, and one of them is you can't have $100,000 of credit card debt and have me take your money.
Yeah.
So,
all right, fair enough.
For a young family that has never sought professional financial management help, where should we begin?
Oh, I love this. I love this because it shows me that somebody is willing to do the ground floor work, kind of you think about, I equate investing to farming. A farmer doesn't wake up in June and say, oh, look, there's the crops. They just appeared. They just showed up one day. What? No.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta till the ground. And what this person is asking is, how do I till the financial ground to be successful? And this is somebody that I would love to talk to, or a financial planner in your church, or somebody that you know, like, and trust, because we could start from the ground up. And you start with a budget. You got to have a budget. These pillars of financial planning, that's what they're really asking. There are tons of Larry Burkett books that you could read about saving and budgeting. Larry Burkett, he was the original Christian planner on Moody Radio. And a lot of it was by accident that he got there, but he did. And he wrote tons of books. And I would start with those books and just do the pillars of financial planning.
But Dave, unless things have changed, what I would say is when Sarah and I mean, we had never heard of any of this, and someone started asking us questions, they referred us to a financial advisor. Even if you don't have any money to invest, you can pay for someone to help you create a financial plan and like evaluate your current, help you make a budget. You don't like it already. You hate it.
No, I do. I do like it. The only thing is a lot of people, they don't want to pay $500 to have somebody tell them, oh, you should save money. You should have a savings account.
Yeah.
I want to go someplace where they don't have any skin in the game. They're not going to try and sell me an annuity if I don't need an annuity, or life insurance policy if I don't need a life insurance policy, or some bad company investments. There are some companies, they only sell their company investments. I want to avoid those people altogether. So if you go to XYZ company and they say, oh, we have 10 XYZ mutual funds. So we own them, and they're the best mutual funds in the world.
Not biased at all here.
Yeah. So I want somebody unbiased, untethered to their own products. That's what I want. I want to find somebody like that. Somebody who's going to be a fiduciary, act in your best interest, not in their best interest.
What retirement account should withdrawals be taken from first to limit tax liability?
Well, there's two ways to look at this. I generally believe that if you're thinking long term and you want to pass money on to people, you should spend your regular IRA money, your 401k money first in retirement, because those are hard to pass on. Now when you open up a beneficiary IRA, you have 10 years to get the money out if you're not the spouse. And so you've basically hamstrung those people that are going to inherit money, no matter what their age is. In 10 years, I got to have the money out of this account. So if you're thinking about passing money on, I'd say spend your IRA money first. If you're not thinking about passing money on, then you would take your Roth IRA money first, because that is untaxable. So that's how I would differentiate those two buckets.
All right. Little break and then more Dave. 440.
You have some news for me, though, didn't you? You wanted to present me with
got news.
A piece of news.
Oh, it's headline making.
I'm thoroughly excited to hear it.
And it's gonna tug on your heartstrings.
Oh, good. Good.
I don't know about that.
Maybe inflame his passions?
Yeah, maybe.
There you go. 440-546-2255.
Prayer isn't a substitute for action. It is an action for which there is no substitute. At a time when several states have again voted to expand abortion rights and the abortion bill continues to rise, prayer is a powerful response. That's why CareNet has formed the Abundant Life Prayer Network. When you join the Abundant Life Prayer Network, you'll be connected to a compassionate community of Christians who are praying for fathers and mothers at risk for choosing abortion, praying for our nation's pregnancy centers and churches as they minister to these fathers and mothers, and praying that unborn babies and their parents will not only have life, but will have abundant life through Christ. As a part of CareNet's Abundant Life Prayer Network, you'll impact lives, grow spiritually, and join with other Christians who share your respect for life and your love for those facing pregnancy decisions. Learn more about the Abundant Life Prayer Network at care-net.org/prayer. care-net.org/prayer. Join today.
May your holidays sparkle with love, joy, and laughter. Merry Christmas from your friends at Mornings with Brian and Moody Radio Cleveland.
It is 8:46, and we've got a few more minutes for David Szfranski, president and founder of Edgewater Investment Group, to answer your questions. We got Butch and Canton on the line. Hey, Butch, what's your question for Dave?
I'm on the radio. Now I got to get off the other line.
Don't let us get in your way, Butch. Don't let us get in your way.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Busy guy.
I like what Butch is doing, though. He's multitasking. He's probably making money on the other line. I love this. Go ahead, Butch. What's up?
I'm making an effort. Anyway, I love your show, Dave. And the reason I called is my wife, when we got married, was working at a at a company, had a 401k retirement plan with that company. We had 5 children subsequent to that. And
prolific.
Now that we're adults and ready to, look at retirement, she wants to access those funds, and the company still exists, but communication does not. What specifics do I need to access this money, or is it, if we can't get a hold of them, is it gone?
Well, it's not gone. It's at an investment company someplace, and you just need, if you know the name of the investment company, you can call them with her on the line. They're not going to talk to you because you're not the account holder, and they shouldn't. Some companies will, but they shouldn't. Have her social security number. They can look up her account, and you could take it out of an old 401k and move it to your own IRA, her own IRA. And that's what you really should do, because in a 401k, even the greatest 401ks, and there are some really good ones out there, but there's a lot of junk. They just don't have a lot of choices in them. And so you move it to your own IRA, and she can invest in anything she wants to. So it's not a taxable transaction. There's no penalties for that, and it can happen very easily. You just got to know the investment company that it's with and have her on the line with her social security number, and they will help you out.
All right. Thanks, Butch. Appreciate it.
That's the Dave Show. Welcome to the Dave Investment Show.
We have one correction to issue to Dave's response. This is not Dave's show. Not even close, Lauren, right?
Not even close.
No.
I mean, it's even loose to say it's Brian's show. It's like bordering on not true.
What Butch doesn't know is that when he said that, I love your show, Lauren gave him the death stare. And Butch got glared at to the depths of his soul.
Oh, yeah. Our friend Phil, mayor of Armandoville, texted me and said, I don't even work there, and I'm intimidated by Lauren.
It's wise.
He's worried that he's offended her to the point he's like, I think I have to bring donuts in.
Almost take a donut.
Because she's mad at me because he insulted one of her favorite groups, which is not a good group in his defense.
Okay, first of all, I never said they were one of my favorite groups.
Is it Mandisa?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
Never one of my favorite groups.
Who is it?
I did not say that. Jump 5. All I was like, I'm reminiscent because this was my childhood.
And he was like, Brian, I think I have to bring in donuts because I critiqued
Brian blows it way out of proportion.
Phil, she is going to smash your face when she sees you.
She just about smashed mine.
Yeah, because you say things that I say that I never said.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you're singing along and dancing to a song by Jump 5, heaven forbid, I think it might be one of your favorites.
I can sing along and dance to, Elvis. Doesn't mean he's my favorite.
You could?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
No.
Jailhouse Rock. Hit
Next
it.
question.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's the song about the ghetto with Elvis?
In the ghetto.
Oh, yes. He loves that song.
Okay. Recently retired with a large traditional IRA. Looking at Roth conversions, what is the latest thinking as to whether tax rates will go up in the next 10 years for the 100 to 200K income tax bracket?
Well, let's talk about the next 4 years because that's what we
more
know.
Important.
I mean, we have
can't predict out that far.
You can't predict out that far. It's clarity on the next 4 years. We know who the president's going to be. We know what the Congress is going to look like for 2 years. Tax rates are not going to go up for the next 2 years. In fact, they're probably going to go down.
What's a Roth conversion? What does that mean?
That's when you take a regular IRA and you convert some of the money to a Roth.
You don't do all of it, just some of it?
Well, you could do all of it, but it's taxable in the year that you do it.
Okay.
So you want to probably step this out a little bit over time just to limit your tax liability. And it is a good idea to convert some of that to a Roth IRA because the younger you are, the longer it has time to grow and grow tax deferred and come out tax free, it will extend the life of that investment. So I do like converting. Just how much you want to convert now, but tax rates are not going up in the next 4 years. I could virtually guarantee that.
Speaking of young, I don't know if you heard the news, but Daria is now an adult.
Oh, really? She's what, 19?
27.
20? Wow.
Gen Z says that an adult is 27 in a survey, and she just turned 27.
Wow.
A lot of investing power in a 27-year-old.
Very exciting.
Yeah,
right?
You know, Daria and Jimmy gave me a lot of hope in Gen Z when I talked to them. I'm like, I think I love you guys.
Well, Jimmy's a millennial.
Is he?
He is.
And
Shut out.
What does that mean? He's younger or older?
He's a bit older than I am.
How much older?
4 years.
He met you babysitting? How did he meet you? I think when she grows up, she's going to be a looker.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, he aspires to be a CPA. So
I know.
So
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a match made in heaven for you.
Yeah, I was, when I was done talking to him, I'm like, okay, the world is going to go on, actually, after all. I wasn't quite sure.
And he's going to carry on dad jokes into Gen Z. He has got all the good dad jokes. He's great.
He has
That's
dad
good.
jokks.
That's good. It's necessary. It's
Point.
a necessary thing. How will, I think when, in a couple of millennium, when they're digging up and they find dad jokes, they're going to be like, this was a good society. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, what happened to them with all these great jokes?
Dad jokes written on the walls.
Yeah.
Oh, in stone.
Instead of like cavemen.
Yeah, exactly.
Lauren would like to get rid of them. You don't like dad jokes.
I just don't care.
That's incorrect. You shouldn't. You should care.
She should care.
They're life-changing.
There's a lot of things Lauren is right about. This is not one of them.
Yeah, I think just yesterday, one of my kids said, "Hey, Dad, I'm hungry," and I go, "Hey, hungry? I'm Dad." I mean, what was I supposed to do? Ignore that?
Just let it lay there?
Or I'm so tired, Dad. Hi, so tired. I'm your dad. What
It's
happened to my
nice
son?
to meet you.
Where did my son go?
La, 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 la.
Okay. Like maybe one or two more questions, then we have to give you this news. Okay?
Yes.
How much money should a financial advisor charge / what is the right amount of money I should be willing to pay?
And I'll add to that, basically, how does the fee structure work? There's two philosophies, right?
Yeah, there's in the past when I first got in the business, it was all commission oriented.
And how does that work?
I bought something, I got paid. I sold something, I got paid again. It's called a round trip. And in the biz, a round trip. And over time, we became way more fee-based. So say, well, we're not going to charge to buy and sell things, but we're going to charge an annual fee. And we'll take it quarterly. And the industry average is in between 1.75 and 2%.
And that's of the total value of your current investments.
Yeah, whether you make money or not.
And you don't, correct me if I'm wrong, you don't write a check every quarter to your financial advisor.
You can. It is one way. We choose not to do that because people tend to forget those checks.
So you're authorized to take it out, that fee out of the account.
Yes.
And it's obviously there's accounting in that, and it's very clear to see.
Now, I think the average of 1.75 to 2% is way too high. I think you should pay 1%. That should be the fee that you pay. 1% a year, taken out quarterly to manage your money, to give you advice, to sit down with you. I don't think there should be a fee to sit down with you. I don't think somebody should say, don't call me. I'm doing what I do. Don't call me. And I have people that have come to me that said, oh, the last people we were with said, stop bugging us. I'm like, well, I don't agree with that philosophy. It's your money. I work for you. So,
although you have a lot of rules in voicemail, it frustrates me. If I try to call you and it goes to voicemail, there's like a list of rules. Don't leave this. Don't do that. Don't do this.
Well, people will email me, say, I want you to buy this stock. Well, I can't guarantee that I'm going to pick up email, and I don't know that you emailed that to me. And you can't leave a trade instruction on my voicemail. I don't give my cell phone number to a lot of people, but at work I've
got it.
Brian does have it. Lauren, do you have it?
Yeah, all of us in this studio have it.
Yeah.
Thanks
so
for minimizing.
Well, it's written on the bathroom wall, so it's like for a good time call.
So where are we now,
I think you
Lauren?
can just tell them the news.
David.
It's so hilarious.
I
don't know how this happened.
The top 10 finalists have been announced for Time Magazine's 2024 Person of the Year.
Yeah.
And you know who's on the list?
Caitlin Clark.
No.
No.
Your favorite person is on the list.
Donald Trump.
Well, him too.
No.
Well, he's there too.
He's on there too. So it's Kamala Harris and Kate Middleton, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Claudia Scheinbaum, Mark Zuckerberg, and
just wait.
Dave.
Dave Ramsey.
Dave.
No. Dave.
Your favorite person. You yell about him every week.
Chair Powell.
Yes.
Oh, there it is.
He's on the finalist list. For times people
I think he should.
of the year.
I think he should thank you. I think you might be part of this.
I think it's you.
How
You said
else?
his name every week, multiple times. So in the
how else does he get
algorithms,
on
his
there?
name popped up.
Yeah, that's right.
Even in the Amazon.
Yes.
In the Amazon, I yelled Chair Powell. All the little kids jumped when I yelled Chair Powell. Like,
Why?
what is wrong with this gringo?
Why is Jerome Powell on the Times People of the Year list?
I think
Here we go.
I think
He's a
it should
fanboy.
be
Fan out, Dave.
I don't think he should be time. Well,
Chairman Powell signed my shirt.
Adolf Hitler was Times Person of the Year
Yeah,
one time. So
it's true.
I don't think he should be the Person of the Year or the Person of the Decade.
You don't. What?
I think it should be Elon Musk. That's my vote because Elon
I vote
Musk.
for Jerome Powell.
But my question is, why is he even on the list?
I don't know because
Why do you think he's on the list?
he's so
Take credit. Take credit.
Because of me. He's there. It's because I have a tattoo of him on my arm.
Oh, okay.
I believe you do.
Yes, I don't have
Could you
any
imagine?
tattoos.
That
I
would
have
be
no tattoos.
wild.
And now a significant percentage of people from Northeast Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, mispronounce and don't even know what his name is.
They think his first name is Chair.
And they think his last name is P-O-W. Powell.
Chair Powell.
That didn't help at all. It made it worse.
Yeah, he's so powerful. The Fed chairman, the Treasury secretary, they are the most powerful people outside of the president, because they control so much of what goes on financially in the world markets. When the Fed chairman sneezes, everyone catches a cold.
Oh.
And
Thought I was dramatic.
it's the truth because they, if you base your currency on the U.S. dollar and the Fed chairman says something, for instance, Janet
You
Yellen
have
one
10
time.
seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds.
Yep.
She said somebody asked her, "Are biotech stocks overvalued?" And she said, "Yes." That cured that problem. Biotechs became dramatically undervalued shortly thereafter.
People listen.
People listen. It is the way it goes. Yes. So.
We'll see if he makes it. They announced the winner today, so.
David Szfranski, president and founder of Edgewater Investment Group, thanks for your time today. If you have questions for Dave or want to reach out to him, best way to get to him is come to us. All right, time's up, Lauren.
Yep.
You should end the show today.
No, thank you.